This police officers seen patrolling the area. James Rojas for CBS News, Boston.
St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones and the city of St. Louis are named in a lawsuit claiming they intentionally avoid adhering to Missouri's Sunshine Law. Attorney Elad Gross filed the suit, saying the city has established a scheme to routinely keep the public from accessing public records. The Jones administration faces increasing criticism from local news organizations for shielding public information when she promised transparency as a candidate. From the First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, inflation's impact is being felt not in gas so much anymore, but more broadly in higher food prices, housing, and medical costs. That's what we learned with the Consumer Price Index yesterday, which sent stocks tumbling. The Dow lost more than 1,200 points. St. Louis-based Stifel Director of Investments Eric Robert.
Stocks sold off as investors brace for strong action from the Fed in response to this latest inflation data. The CME Group's FedWatch tool is now showing a 33% probability of a 100 basis point rate hike next week. Previously, expectations were for a 75 basis point hike.
That impacts interest rates. So in other words, if you were thinking of refinancing a house or buying a new car, you may need to think that one through. The Dow currently is up, though, almost 87 points. Taking a look at the roadways, we are seeing the potential of some jams here on 70 eastbound past Lake St. Louis Boulevard. There's a crash there that has the two left lanes closed at 70 eastbound past Lake St. Louis. A couple of stalled vehicles, one 64 eastbound past Van Deventer, that's on the right shoulder, and a crash at 64 westbound to Route K. They have just moved that off to the right shoulder, but that may be in the way for some time. Taking a look at the forecast, it's going to be a beautiful sunny day today with a high around 85 degrees. Right now it's sunny and 72. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Don't miss Farm and Home Supply's Fall into Savings event. One day only. Saturday, September 17th. Save on items inside the two-page flyer. Like $25 off men and women's Wolverine boots. Or get a free $25 Farm and Home Supply gift card with a purchase of an Echo trimmer, blower, or chainsaw. View the ad online right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444.
Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends.
This is The Show.
Come inside, the show's about to start.
Now, Kevin Wheeler, Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on KMOX.
There are economic implications for the average Americans. For one thing, inflation. Consumers could see higher prices in the stores, in the mall. The cost of produce would go up.
2 on, 2 out. An 0-2 pitch. Wainwright has the sign he wants. He brings it home. In. Swing and a miss. The Cardinals are world champions for 2006.
It's 10:06 on the show. Chris Ranji and Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy on vacation. She'll be back in the middle of next week, and we got a lot to do here today. If you want to be a part of the show, 314-436-7900 for the text line. In fact, our topic coming up at 10:30 will be a good one to get some reaction on because we're going to talk a bit about what you heard there at the beginning in the open, which was a clip talking about the problems, the negotiations between the rail workers unions and the rail working companies, and the possibility of a work stoppage. I think leading to legitimate fears, considering where we are economically now and how much gets moved via railway, food, fuel, you name it. It sounds like the way it's being put is this could be, and one of the headlines was, could be an economic disaster, which is exactly what we need in the middle of what we're already dealing with. We're going to get into some more depth on that at 10:30. We're going to talk a bit about the initiative, the marijuana initiative that'll be on the ballot now for sure in November. The Missouri Supreme Court said, don't need to hear about this. We can decide it at the polling place.
You know what? All Supreme Court decisions, like every brief, everything they write, they should say, we don't want to.
Sorry, that was the Judge
Judy.
I just picture all judges being like Judge Judy. They're like, that's how I picture them all now.
Oh, God, what a great show.
And obviously, you heard the clip there. That was the final out of the 2006 World Series. And tonight, coincidentally, this is pretty awesome. KMOX night at the ballpark.
It is.
Cardinals and Brewers. So it's
a
meaningful game for a lot of reasons. And of course, for the biggest one is Yadi and Waino making their 325th start together And once they make that start, they will be the all-time leaders. They will be the battery that has the most starts together, which is remarkable on so many fronts. I mean, one, that they're both this good for this long. Nobody told them in their late 30s, hey, you're not good enough anymore, time to retire. And they didn't decide to retire, so they had the desire to continue doing this. So not only have they had to be good, they've had to be, here.
Right.
Like in the age of free agency,
Right.
You don't often see two star players, and they are star players, just play their whole career with the same franchise. So we've got that element to it. And then the other part is Waino's missed almost 3 years. He missed all of 2011, most of 2015, most of 2018. Everybody missed 2/3 of 2020 because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So even with all of those road bumps, they're still going to set the record for the most starts by battery mates in the history of Major League Baseball.
And Molina missed a lot of time this year, even.
And actually in recent years, because he had the thumb injuries.
That's right.
And obviously COVID was part of that too.
Yeah. So the fact they're able to do this is just it's really incredible, and to be able to see it happen here in a season that is not about it. It's not about milestones. The 2022 Cardinals are not about milestones. They just happen to be having a terrific season while also having milestones. And those are the best, because if you remember the summer of 98 when McGwire was on the home run chase and it was him versus Sammy and that whole thing, everybody knows about it. And how much fun that was. For the Cardinals, that was the summer. The summer was the home run chase, because they weren't a great team that year.
Right.
This team this year is really good and is a legitimate playoff team. And on top of it, they get to watch Albert do what he's doing, and they get to see Adam and Wayne Yadier Molina do what they are about to do and break that record tonight. So you're getting the benefit of having a really fun season and a fun team to watch. And then on top of it, you have some awesome milestones that you're getting to be a part of as well.
It's such an odd thing, because you don't typically expect all of it to happen, right? You're coming into this year. It's like, okay, yeah, we know that Yadi and Waino had a legitimate chance. And we knew that. Basically, if they were healthy, they were going to break this record. And that actually happened despite Yadi not being totally healthy and needing a couple, one time away with an injury. Obviously took the weekend to go back to Puerto Rico. But even with those little disruptions, Waino is still healthy, which is remarkable in and of itself, too, as a guy that was one of, I think, only 3 pitchers last year that threw 200 innings. And he's just rolling along this year, just like business as usual. And so you've got the performance level. Albert's here, but it's not just a farewell tour. He's actually really contributing to a contending team, and he's made a massive difference. And I know I pointed this out as yesterday or maybe Monday, that since the All-Star break, he's basically the second most productive hitter in baseball. Even though he's not playing every day, on a rate basis, he's behind only Aaron Judge, who, by the way, hit 2 more homers last night. Now he's 57.
Awesome.
That's
but we're talking about these guys, and Mike Trout's been great too.
He did his streak end. I think his streak ended last night.
I think
right?
it did.
He had homered to like 8 straight games or something crazy like that.
So dumb.
But it's funny because offense is still down around the game, but we have all these great achievements with Aaron Judge possibly breaking the American League record for home runs in a season, which is Roger Maris's record. Some would say he would be the first legitimate guy to break 61 since Roger Maris. I mean, that would be a valid argument, I think, when we know what happened with the other guys.
All home runs count the same, Kevin.
Uh-huh.
Even the juiced ones.
They just go a little further, right? And go a little bit more often.
Big Mac was going to hit a lot of home runs anyway.
He was, but would he have stayed on the field?
Yeah, he'd been fine.
I mean, he didn't earlier. He had a few years early in his career where he was on that pace, but he just kept getting hurt.
Yeah, you're fine.
So you got those things happening. Albert pushing 700, which is not just a great season, but I mean, it's funny. Somebody sent me yesterday, as a friend sent me the comparison between Albert and Miguel Cabrera. And Miguel Cabrera is another first ballot automatic Hall of Famer, right? This guy is one of the greatest hitters of all time.
Yes.
He's not even close to Albert.
Yep.
He's not even close. Yep. He's almost 200 home runs behind. Now, granted, Albert has played 2 more seasons, but
still,
those are 200
still,
home
you're
run
gonna,
seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the difference between Albert and everybody else is remarkable. And think about, you just mentioned Mike Trout, how great he's been. I mean, Mike Trout has been the best player in baseball for about the last 10 years. Like, if you take it in sum total, some guys are younger who are more talented or as talented, but they don't have the numbers because they're younger. He's kind of the mix, right? He's 31. He's been around for a decade. He's got the current, he's currently a producer, and he also has the past production. So he's 31, and he has 345 home runs, which is a lot. That's a lot for 31. I mean, like, that's really early. He still has, if Albert gets to 700, he still has 355 more to get in his 30s as he gets close to 40. If you compare his 12 years, his first 12 years, and then you compare that to Albert's first 12 years, I mean, it's reasonably close, but it's Albert. I mean, like, his numbers are the better numbers by far if you look at those first 12 years.
You can watch the show on YouTube. You can watch the show, our show, the one we're doing right now, on Facebook Live as well.
Yeah.
And you're free to comment and text us 314-436-7900. And we have a comment right now that says, relish these times with the Redbirds.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people that always wants more when it comes to my teams. I expect a lot of them. That's the kind of fan I am, because I want my teams to be good. And I want my teams, the organizations, to try as hard as possible to exhaust all options to be good. Sometimes they don't do that. A lot of teams don't. So it's very rare that in a regular season, I'm thinking, you know what? Enjoy the hell out of what's going on now. Playoffs are a different thing. When we get the playoffs, we'll talk playoffs.
Yeah.
But right now, for a regular season, as far as regular seasons go, this is as good as a regular season can be if you're a Cardinals fan, because of the amount of things happening. Yes, the milestones, the Albert chasing 700, Adam and Yadi doing what they are doing, but also, and mainly most importantly, they are really good, and they are really far in first place, and they are a legitimate playoff team. So you have all these things happening at once. It's not very often you get to watch a team be good, be a playoff team,
right,
and also have some really awesome milestones to be chasing at the end of the year.
Right. I mean, the number one thing coming into the year was not about these achievements. The number one thing is win the division. And obviously, I think all of us agree that the standard should not just be making the postseason, but making some kind of run in the postseason, right? Depending on circumstance, you just never know. You catch a hot team and you have injuries or whatever. You don't know. But getting there and making a run is the primary goal.
That's correct.
Right? And that's what Ollie Marmol said from the word go. Like, look, all of this stuff is great. We're here to win. Like, our job is to win the World Series. So that was his message from the beginning. And I think that is the bigger thing when you're talking about the totality of the year. And it will be the only thing in about 3.5 weeks.
That's right.
It'll be the only thing. But these other things matter right now, in part, or maybe even more right now, in part because you are in control in the division. If this was a 1-game difference, I think, yes, we'd be celebrating these things, but there'd be a little bit more, okay, but we really need to win games.
Yeah, it's tense. Yeah.
It's a little bit easier to be able to recognize these things and have fun with them.
Yes.
If every game isn't do or die. So you win today, and it's going to be tough because Corbin Burns is pitching for Milwaukee. So it's going to be a challenge. But if you win today, you're 8 games up with 19 games left. I mean, you're pretty much, you're even now, if you're 6 games up with 19 games left, that's a lot to make up with only 2 more head-to-head between these two later on this season.
The Cardinals are not going to lose on KMOX night.
They better not.
That's just, it can't happen.
Are you throwing out the first pitch?
No. We are going to talk to somebody
who
is.
That?
Of course.
Would you enjoy it?
Oh, I'd have a really nice time with it.
Would you be nervous?
Well, sure. But I think people would be going, who is this person? But I would really enjoy doing the whole thing. I would love to do it. And we're gonna talk to somebody.
Lindsay
here.
Wright's gonna be doing it.
Yeah, we have a
I have tips.
A coworker here.
Yeah, coworker here at Odyssey St. Louis.
And she has been bragging about it.
I know. Well, she's a former softball player. She got some skills, and that to me raises expectations. I don't know about you. We'll talk about that a little bit.
She better not mess it up.
A little bit later on. Next up, we're going to get into recreational marijuana making it onto the ballot because the Missouri Supreme Court said, nope, not for us. We'll get into that next.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butz. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Not all windows are created equal. See things more clearly with an STL Windows Direct window. Compare the difference at stlwindowsdirect.com. stlwindowsdirect.com.
STL Windows Direct.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Hi, everybody. This is Charlie Brennan, and I think we're so fortunate to have Rottler Pest Solutions in our area. Rottler is the largest family-owned pest control company in Missouri. It's currently number 32 in its industry in the nation. You can call them 24/7. Yes, they schedule on Saturdays. About 7 years ago, my son and I discovered a rat on the second floor of the home we were living in at the time. You can bet the first call we made was 877-ROTTLER. If rats or mice are in your home, or you simply want to prevent such a problem, Rottler has a team of rodent control experts. And if spiders, roaches, crickets, or silverfish are making their way inside your property, seeking shelter from the extreme heat or cold, Rottler Pest Solutions can create a barrier around your home to ensure that your property remains pest-free. Just call 877-ROTTLER. Learn more at rottler.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
All the news and all that matters to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
1026 on the show here on KMOX. Chris Raji and Kevin Wheeler with you here. You can join us 314-436-7900, especially on these next couple of topics, because I think they're things that affect, well, at least a lot of us, if not all of us, and they will affect all of us to some degree or another, just a matter of how much. But 314-436-7900 and 314-944-1120 to leave us a voicemail. So after the bottom of the hour, we're going to touch on the possibility of a strike by railway workers, which wouldn't be great at this point with the economy kind of teetering on the edge. And we're going to talk more about that with John Worthen, who writes for the Trucker Media Group, because obviously the trains and the trucks are how everything gets moved in this country for the most part. And they're interconnected. One affects the other, and all of it affects us. So we'll get to him coming up at 11 o'clock. We'll get to the topic in a few minutes. But first up, Raj, Missouri State Supreme Court says no to the challenge of keeping the recreational marijuana initiative off the ballot, right? We talked to, I forget, who was he again? We talked to one of
John
the
Payne
John
from
Payne.
from Legal Weed, Missouri.
Yeah, the ones that were trying to get this off the ballot on a technicality. Well, there was no technicality issue. As a lot of the people who put the initiative together said, like, look, we did this right. It's fine. It's legal, and it'll be on the ballot in November. So now it will be. Recreational marijuana will be on the ballot in November. And to me, my number one takeaway with issues that are like this is definitely something that should be left up to the voters. This is something that we should decide as a group. And look, if a majority of people in Missouri decide they don't want it, okay, they win, right? You go cast your ballot. The side that gets more votes is the one that dictates this particular policy. I don't think there's a problem with that. And if it turns out the other way, then you know what? You don't get to enforce your morals. This is what we were talking about with John. Like, you don't get to enforce your moral view on other people for something like this, because there is no real morality question, right? I mean, alcohol does the same types of things to your mind that marijuana does.
And we've
right?
decided that's okay.
And we've been okay with that since Prohibition.
Yep.
And by the way, we were okay with that during Prohibition too.
Oh yeah, only certain people got the benefit of the speakeasy.
This is the thing. Like, did we not learn from what happened in Prohibition and learn from what happened with the teetotalers trying to make everybody live a dry life? It doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't work. And all it's going to do is put a lot more money into the people that are willing to do things illegally.
Regulate it and collect the tax money, because the more money that comes to the state, the better it is. We've seen the benefit that Colorado has experienced because of the legalization of marijuana. The same thing for the state of Illinois. They've brought in a lot of tax revenue. That's not to say there aren't going to be individual properties along the way that end up being problem properties because there is crime around those, or people are trying to rob those stores. Well, I mean, that's more an issue of the neighborhood than it is the store itself, because any kind of store can get robbed. A gun store can get robbed. And
recent examples of that.
Yes, around here.
Yeah.
And in the state of Illinois. You know, I mean, you're getting that a lot. So I don't really think it's an issue of that. I think for a lot of people, the concern is a concern of morality. And I think when you have a concern, and I do this sometimes too, if I want a thing to happen or I want it to not happen, like if I really want it to be one of the two things, I will find some things to justify what I want. You know, like I will find some, like I might cherry pick some evidence here and there. I think all of us are guilty of that to an extent. I might do that. And I think people who really don't want weed to happen from a morality perspective will say, well, it's going to bring more crime as well, which I just don't think is true. I think it could happen in some areas, but not in others. The evidence doesn't show you that it's going to be a widespread problem if it becomes legalized. But I do agree with the governor on the point that if we're going to do this, it shouldn't just be people who own businesses who get to grow it. It should be people, individuals at their homes should get to if they want to grow it for themselves. I totally agree with him on that. If that's what he's saying, if he's truly saying people should be able to do it on their own too, and there's no ulterior motive there, I am 100% on board with those thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, we had a texter point this out when we had this conversation a couple weeks ago. Look, you can brew your own beer at home. You can brew all kinds of your own alcohol. Why is this different? And that's kind of the point. It should be a consistent thing, right? When you have mind-altering substances, you should be consistent with how you handle them. Now, that doesn't mean that heroin is the same, because we know the physical damage, right?
Yes.
We know that the physical damage that it does and the super addictive nature of it. that's why we got to be more careful with things that are more powerful. But pot is not in that thing, and it'll be on the ballot coming up in November. Up next, a little bit on the potential for a railway strike. Oh, my God, we're already in the middle of it when it comes to the economy. What could this mean if things go wrong? That's next on the show.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Buy today and save tomorrow with Lombardo Homes. Your dream home is within reach. Interest rates are on the rise, but home ownership is still affordable. In fact, Lombardo Homes will buy 2 points off your loan, bringing down your rate by as much as 0.75% when you sign your Lombardo Homes purchase agreement. This means lower monthly mortgage payments and more money for the things that matter. Restrictions apply. Please see sales manager for details. Visit LombardoHomes.com for community details, floor plans, pricing, and home site availability.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Right now is the perfect time to call Zero Res to deep clean and refresh your carpets, air ducts, upholstery, and more. Call 314-474-2020 to get 3-room Zero Res clean starting at just $129 and take $75 off your air duct cleaning. ZeroResSTL.com.
Tom Ackerman sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Mahaltra. You can too. Go to yourEyeDoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
A storm safety tip from Quiver River Electric Cooperative. While you can't predict which weather forecast will come true, you can plan ahead. So when severe weather strikes, you have the tools and resources to weather the storm. Shutter windows and securely close exterior doors. Fully charge all cell phones, laptops, and devices so you have maximum power if there's an outage. For more on severe weather safety, visit quiver.com or call 1-800-392-3709.
Hey guys, Mike Valeni for Cash the Ticket podcast. If you like sports betting or if you just like sports, it's the podcast for you. We try to cover all the big games and maybe some of the games you didn't even know were important, give you some angles, pick some winners, have a good time, and hopefully help you meander through college and pro football season. So join us a couple times a week to get all your information you need to bet the games that you watch. It's Cash the Ticket on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies downtown at the Arch and 65 degrees. I'm Carol Daniel. A woman's healthcare clinic in South Bend, Indiana, is attempting to reinvent itself ahead of the state's near-total ban on abortions, which takes hold tomorrow.
Sharon Lau says since Roe v. Wade was overturned, they've been brainstorming workarounds.
We own the building and we don't have like a firm deadline by which we have to leave. We have started thinking about, how we could stay open and stay in the community.
Lau says Whole Woman's Health Clinic can offer abortion by mail options.
We do also have telehealth services. We can do medication abortion by mail and virtual appointments, but the person can't be in Indiana. So if the patient can get to Illinois, we can definitely help them there.
If the patient doesn't have the money to travel out of state, the clinic's Stigma Relief Fund can help cover some of the costs.
The Missouri Supreme Court refusing to take up a lawsuit challenging a ballot proposal to legalize recreational marijuana use in Missouri. The ruling means the proposed constitutional amendment will be on the November 8th ballot. Workers at the St. Charles Amazon Fulfillment Center plan to present management with a list of demands, a petition with hundreds of signatures calling for higher pay and better safety conditions. Workers are asking for a boost in pay of at least $10 an hour. There is a stalled vehicle westbound 44 past 141. It's on the right shoulder. Watch for a crash being worked 44 eastbound before 100. The 2 left lanes are closed in that location. And the KMOX forecast for this afternoon, look for a high in the low 80s with plenty of sunshine. Right now it is sunny and 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I'm here for Pioneer Brand Seeds, a block away from another ag company's corporate office. This company concentrates their breeders here in one centralized location. That's not how Pioneer works. Our breeders are located where their test plots are. That way, Pioneer corn breeders gain insights about what does and doesn't work for a local geography in real time. Ask your local Pioneer sales representative about field-proven Pioneer brand corn hybrids. And like our breeders, they're located near you.
Hi, it's Debbie Monterey, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Don't miss Farm and Home Supply's Fall into Savings event. One day only. Saturday, September 17th. Save on items inside the two-page flyer. Like $25 off men and women's Wolverine boots. Or get a free $25 Farm and Home Supply gift card with the purchase of an Echo trimmer, blower, or chainsaw. View the ad online right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
Summer Bonanza means more business in the fall months? Hire right with Indeed. Their integrated solution lets you schedule and conduct video interviews all in one place. Finding your next great hire has never been this easy. Get hiring at Indeed.com/credit.
Soccer fans, have you heard?
KMOX will carry the first match ever at Centene Stadium when St. Louis City 2 takes on Sporting KC 2 in MLS Next Pro action. It'll be this Sunday.
Pregame 5:45, kick at 6. Hear the game on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
All right, 10:34 on the show. Chris Ranji and Kevin Wheeler here. Amy Marks-Kors is out on vacation. She'll be back in the middle of next week. By the way, Amy just texted us. I think it's
great.
This is not an off the air kind of thing. It's actually kind of funny. But Amy is getting on a flight. I'm not going to say to where. Well, we can say where.
She's been talking about it for like 9 years.
She's going to Canada.
Yeah,
they're going to go do some outdoorsy stuff.
Good luck finding her.
Yeah, but she's getting on the flight, and she just texted us and said they have to wear masks to fly to Canada. That's a requirement. You have to wear the mask on the flight to Canada. And one guy was refusing and saying, I thought this was America, with a heavy British accent.
Well,
but you're going to Canada.
I mean,
this gets to a topic we're going to touch on later, is that you know the rules, you know where you're going. You don't get to complain when you don't feel like complying. And I don't mean just for this. I mean anything. You know, if you decide I'm going to go see Dave Chappelle and he tells jokes and says the F word, you don't get to complain about that. You know it's what he's going to do. If you're going to Canada, you know they have different rules and laws than we do. You're choosing to go there. Don't complain. Like, when you know the rules and you choose to go anyway, you don't get to be an idiot about it.
Are we still complaining about having to put a mask on? What are we doing, man? It's not that. You're fine. You're fine. Just do it. You're fine.
Yeah. But freedom and stuff. So we're going to talk that topic, which is when you choose it and you know what you're choosing, you don't get to complain about that thing.
I agree with you.
We'll talk about that in more detail, I think, coming up at 11:30. At 11 o'clock, we're going to talk to somebody who covers the trucking industry, which is, I think, going to be really helpful to figure out how much these things are all tied together, right? The transportation of goods, which is what we're going to be talking about here. The potential for a railway strike is looming at this point. There was one headline I saw, I think it was Vice News, that said, U.S. on the verge of economic disaster because freight rail workers can't get sick time. And that's what this is about, right? I don't believe that the fight is about just salary or money. It's about sick time. It's about actually having time off. Like I've heard from railway workers, not only in these stories, but on the air in the past, like, yeah, it's a 50-hour week, and even when you're off, you're on call, and it's like it's a never-ending job, and getting paid sick days is what one of the things that they're fighting for now. But this is a complicated issue, because while I'm all for workers working together to better their situation, right? Like using whatever leverage they have to improve vacation time, to get a raise, to get better benefits, whatever it is, I think I'm all in favor of that. I mean, it's what I do when I get the opportunity to do it. So why would I judge somebody else when they take that opportunity to do it as well? The thing here is we are already in such a critical place when it comes to supply chain, and we're not all the way back from 2020. We know how much all of this is dependent on each of these things functioning, right? And that's what we're going to talk about with John Worthen from the Trucker Media Group at the top of the hour, which is, how does this all work together? Because
they're affected too.
Yes, absolutely. If the trains aren't running, if we're not moving grain and fuel and other things, that's going to impact the trucking industry. And all of those things impact us and the prices that we pay. And that's why there's a lot of discussion about the government getting involved in this and saying essentially, look, you guys need to keep bargaining, but you need to keep working. You need to keep working because this is of critical national interest. We can't have this problem right now. And remember, this is similar to what happened with the air traffic controllers. What was that, 40 years ago? They were going to go on strike, and they were like, no, we can't have this. We need planes to land safely. We need to have this going for commerce, for everything else. We can't have untrained people doing that job, and we certainly can't ground all the airplanes.
And the government has already stepped in once back in July to extend it a couple of months to force the two sides to continue to talk and to keep everything operating. And the deadline expires on Friday.
Right.
And so that's where the problem is, because by the time midnight rolls around, Thursday into Friday, we could have this stoppage, which would be pretty devastating, as you mentioned, economically. I know what's happening here. The government doesn't want to tell them, hey, you gotta keep working. They don't want to get involved in it because they want them to have worked it out on their own. They want the two sides to negotiate, to do it the way it's supposed to be done, and then come to an agreement, and then everybody get to work and stay at work. That's what they want to do. They don't want to have to step in and tell them. I believe they will if they have to. Because I don't think they can allow this to just lapse and then have a strike, because they're already dealing with in some cases perception, in many cases reality, that the economy is struggling in a lot of different sectors. And they don't want this on top of it as well. So strictly from an administration standpoint and a government standpoint, they don't want it to get to that. So I don't think it's going to, and that is just a guess on my part. But they don't want to have to. And I completely understand the idea of we cannot afford this, so we have to do whatever we have to do to keep these folks working. But I am somewhat uncomfortable with the idea of the government having to step in and do this and make sure everybody stays at work, and allowing railroad companies to say, hey guys, this is a really bad time for you to not work, and we can't figure this out right now, so we'll kick the can down the road. We'll figure it out later. Just make sure you come back to work and stay at work. And we'll figure this out later, because there's always going to be something. There's always going to be a thing that the railroad companies or any employer says, this is not a good time. This is not a good time to negotiate. This is not a good time for you to not work. There's always going to be something. This is a critical time in U.S. history. I understand that, but there's always going to be something. And I know the engineers, the conductors are pretty well compensated. That's not the problem here.
No, they're not. They're not asking about pay or even healthcare.
You can't have a job. I don't believe, and we can ask this question of somebody who knows better, but I don't believe this is one of those jobs where when you take the job, when you're hired, you train for the job, you go in, you get hired, and they tell you, look, here's the deal. We're going to pay you 6 figures, but you're never really off work. Not ever. You go to work, and then you have off days, but on your off days, you're still on call. There aren't a whole lot of jobs that are like that. Maybe in I don't know, a national emergency or something. When 9/11 happened, police who were off duty and firemen who were off duty were called into work that day. But that is a crazy event that happened that forced that. But generally speaking, you're not usually asked to be on call all the time. If you're an on-call employee, you have a rotation where, okay, you're off work this week, right, but you're on call. Next week when you're off work, you're off work. And if that's the situation here, that's not a sustainable thing. You can't keep asking people to do that. You can't keep asking people to never really truly have a day off work. So if that's what the hang-up is, and these companies who, by the way, BNSF made $23 billion last year. Union Pacific made almost $22 billion last year. CSX, which is the third biggest company, $12.5 billion. So these companies are doing really, really well. Why can't you hire more people?
I mean, that's a valid question. And there's a story about this from April, actually, that really got my attention then. And I was reminded of it now because of the story that I was looking at today. That said very clearly, and this is from Vice News, this is not about pay and it's not about health care. It's about time off policies. So the way it was described back in April, and apparently this came into play in February, it's a point system where you can accumulate points, but you have to pay in points to take time off. But the reality is they're on call 90% of the time, and you can't refuse.
Yeah.
If you refuse, you end up getting fired. You end up losing your points, and then you end up getting fired. And
I don't care how much money you make. That's a bad deal.
Yeah. So here's how you. So you, when you take time off, this is from a Vice News story from April. It says if you take time off, it will cost you. So the only way you can earn points back, by the way, is being available to work with 90 minutes notice for 14 consecutive days. So for 2 straight weeks, you have to be available on call within an hour and a half of when they call you. So you can't plan
anything.
You can't take, I'm going to take my kids to the zoo today.
Right.
You can't plan any of these things. You can't go on vacation during any of this time. I mean, like, how do we think that this is a good idea? And the story, by the way, was about the main person interviewed was a freight train conductor who fell asleep on the train while it was moving. And it's because he doesn't get any sleep. It's because he doesn't get any time off. Now, nothing happened. There was no accident. He's just admitting this anonymously, of course, because you wouldn't want to lose your job if you admit that up front. I think we need to re-examine a lot of industries where these types of things are the expectation. We know now, the science is very clear that if you don't sleep enough and don't get enough rest, your performance diminishes. And it diminishes even more the more that continues over a long period of time. We don't want people in this kind of field where you've got major economic impact and obviously the risk for major accidents that can cost people their lives. You don't want those people working on no sleep and not getting time off to rest when they need it.
There are certain jobs you just cannot afford to have sleepy people doing it. Operating a train, flying an aircraft with people on it, air traffic controller, truck driver. We have somebody who has texted into 314-436-7900, not going to say the name of the company, but a delivery service who says it's the same way. If you work for this company, you're always on call no matter what. That is not a sustainable job. It doesn't matter how much money you make. A human being has to have some time off. There are a handful of crazy people out there that never want time off and they always want to be at work no matter what. I don't know who these weirdos are. Well, I know one of them, but I can't imagine that's like a thing that 99.9% of people can tolerate, and they shouldn't have to tolerate. Nobody should have a working condition like that. Again, I don't care what your compensation is. I don't care how much money you make.
Right.
You can't tell somebody, listen, man, you're never really off work. I mean, you don't have to come in today, but you might. That can't be your whole life every day.
Don't go too far from home.
Yeah,
we might call you.
What is that? What kind of life is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And if you're one of these people, because I know this happens all the time, they'll say, well, I have to do that for my job. Okay. Yes. And you know what your response should be? I shouldn't have to do that either. Not I have to do it, therefore you should have to do it. That's not the appropriate response. The appropriate response is, this is stupid. I shouldn't have to do this, and neither should these railroad workers.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about this from somebody that's on the inside of the transportation business. John Worthen writes for the Trucker Media Group. These things are all interconnected. We'll talk to him about some of this coming up after the 11 o'clock news. Next up, we'll tell you what's trending in the world right here on the show.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at ThrottleNet. These are the genius IT guys that I've been representing for years and years now. We are number one all the time. Best in customer service from Small Business Monthly. Best in cybersecurity, again, Small Business Monthly. We have an average response time. I love this statistic. The average response time in St. Louis in 2020 by IT companies. You have a problem, you reach out to them, hey, I'm all shut down, help me, was 3 hours. If you got back within 3 hours, you were cool. Ours was 1 minute, 57 seconds, and the guys were very unhappy with that. It takes less than 2 minutes for us to address your problems. Here's a huge thing. We are now offering $500,000 in ransom protection to everyone who uses us. This is part of the deal. You don't pay extra for it. So if you happen to be hit and you have to pay, we're going to pay it up to $500,000. Now, this shows you how confident we are because no one under our protection has ever had to pay. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS.
5-minute cash offer on your house. Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com. KLAMEN Group.com. 314-946-9999. Local and family owned. We're going to buy your property direct in as-is condition. And we just rolled out the instant cash offer where you'll get an offer on your house in 5 minutes or less when you reach out to us. Find us online at ClaymanGroup.com for an instant cash offer now. KLAMEN Group.com. 946-9999. 314-946 all nines.
Get your car at your price at Bomarito. Shop thousands of new vehicles at our state-of-the-art sales and service facility. Our product specialists will make your experience quick and easy. Or just browse, view, and buy 100% online with Bomarito Fast Pass. Let's get more for your trade and the Bomarito nationwide warranty. 10 years, 200,000 miles. A better experience, a better price. Go with the automotive leader, Bomarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at Bomarito.com.
Join us in Forest Park, September 16th and 17th, to celebrate the 50th annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Visit GreatForestParkBalloonRace.com for a sneak peek at the beautiful balloon set to take flight, plus event details and directions. Sponsored by Children's Hospital, Purina, Schnucks, Airly Foods, and the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sure, we all love to have a clean home, but what about the things that you can't see that are making your home dirty? I'm talking about germs, bacteria, mold, and more. This is Debbie Monterey, and you really need to call Beam of St. Louis if you want a truly healthy home. Beam of St. Louis can provide you with a whole house HEPA air filtration system that provides HEPA pure air 24/7 in every room in your home. It'll help reduce allergy symptoms without a prescription. For the healthiest home possible, make sure you have a Beam Central Vacuum System. It removes 100% of the collected germs, bacteria, mold, and dust. So, a Beam Central Vacuum System and a Beam Whole House HEPA air filtration system. The folks at Beam of St. Louis are great to work with, fantastic customer service, one-day installation. Give them a call at 314-567-1515 or online at beamstl.com. That's Beam of St. Louis. You'll be glad you called.
Is your bank, brokerage, or your insurance company telling you to buy an annuity? They may have limited access to the best rates available. You need solutions, not someone pitching you a specific product. Call for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233. And also join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Get started with the Vision Walk today and form your Vision Walk team to raise money for a cure. For more information, go to visionwalk.org or call 314-852-7223.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444.
This is the show.
The show continues on KMOX.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, trending is brought to you by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Colville. Obviously, there's always a ton of things trending. We're trying to find the things that most noteworthy, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. I'd say that for the past 24 hours or so, maybe a little less than that, Lindsey Graham is trending. How about that one?
Oh, is that good or no?
Well, I guess it depends on your perspective.
Oh, right.
If you're of the staunch pro-life perspective, you think it's a good thing. If you are not, if you are pro-choice or somewhere that's a little bit less than where he is, you probably aren't happy. I know this. A lot of Republicans are not happy with Lindsey Graham about all of this. He's put forth a bill that would become nationwide law regulating abortion and nothing after 15 weeks and all of that. And a lot of other Republicans are like, wait a minute, buddy, this is not what we're talking about. What are you doing?
There's already a recognition that the stance is unpopular nationwide, and to go further in that direction is turning a lot of people off, and including his own party, because I think they know that's a political loser. Doesn't mean they're gonna lose seats as a result of it,
right?
But that there's gonna be any kind of real tangible backlash in November.
Don't know for sure.
Could be, but I don't really know. But what I think it does do is it gives validity. It gives validity to people who have been concerned that, and all you have to do is go back a couple of years when the new Supreme Court judges were brought in, and there were people from the pro-choice side who said they're going to go after Roe. They're going to go after Roe v. Wade, and people said, no, you're overreacting. That's not going to happen. What did they do? They went after Roe. And now those same people are saying, well, now they're going to go for a nationwide ban. And they're being told, you're overreacting again. It's up to the states now. It's not going to be a nationwide ban. Well, guess what? There are people like Lindsey Graham who want a nationwide ban. So I don't believe this is the last you're going to hear of it. He may get shouted down now by his own party ahead of the midterms coming up, but at some point this is going to resurface, and there will be an attempt to do it nationwide.
And as you pointed out, the people that are pro-choice in this, they were saying, well, what's next? Are they going to keep going?
Yeah,
because
right.
The overturning of
Where's
Roe,
it stop?
What it did, what everybody was talking about, hey, say, listen, all this does is turn it over to the states. That's all it does. And Lindsey Graham on August 7th said, I've been consistent. I think states should decide this.
Yep.
So what changed?
Well, because
if
this
the
is
whole
what
argument is the states should decide, then why are we trying to make a national law about it?
Privately, probably nothing changed with him. It's always what he wanted. He just wasn't upfront about it.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah. Like that's either it, or there's some, I don't know, maybe there's a pro-life group that has gotten to him.
Maybe
that could be it too.
I just found it fascinating how much of the criticism was from his own party and not just from the outside.
Also trending, this is a story, man. You can see it on KMOX.com, which is exactly where I saw it. This happened in Pennsylvania, in Delmont Borough. Delmont Borough police arrested an armed man Saturday at a Dairy Queen. He claimed that he wanted to, quote, restore Trump to President King of the United States. According to police, the bystander called 911 to report an erratic driver who pulled into Dairy Queen. He got out. He was wearing a rainbow clown wig and a yellow safety vest. He was identified as 61-year-old Jan Stoavy, and he said he wanted to kill Democrats and liberals. I don't know why I'm laughing, because this isn't funny. And he was also there to protect himself from drug traffickers, he said. He had 2 handguns on him. Actually, he had 3 guns on him. 2 of them were in the car, and they were loaded. So police believe they have prevented a mass casualty event. That is according to the police chief there.
Get that man some help. Coming up a little later on, there's another thing trending that we don't have time for, but Brett Favre is probably in some trouble.
Oh,
tell you about that. Yeah, taking money from the state welfare fund in Mississippi for a volleyball thing for where his daughter went to college. We'll talk about that and a few other things on that. After the top of the hour news, we'll give you an update on the potential railway strike from the truckers' perspective.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com or call 314-328-8000.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today and it's all no charge. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Caring for residents for over a century, Manor Grove is committed to making everyone feel at home. Choosing a home for your loved one to reside is an important decision and shouldn't be taken lightly. Manor Grove makes your decision easy with medical professionals and staff who care for residents like family. If you are looking for a caring and quality nursing home and rehab facility, please visit our website, manorgrove.com, and take our virtual tour. Manor Grove, over a century of caring. Welcome home to Manor Grove. Gas Appliance Service and the Fireplace and Grill Center have a huge selection of gas logs in stock to make your home warm and inviting. Don't get caught in the cold. Shop now for great prices, selection, and schedule your expert installation before long lead times of the holiday rush. See the beautiful burning displays at Gas Appliance Service near Westport or the Fireplace and Grill Center, a quarter mile east of 141 on the south side of Manchester Road. Hurry while supplies last. Gas Appliance Service and the Fireplace and Grill Center.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a sunny sky and 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, an Amber Alert continues. It was issued overnight for an abduction that reportedly happened near Ferguson Middle School on Monday afternoon. A missing 12-year-old girl left school property in a blue van. Ferguson Florissant school officials have issued a statement saying that they are working with investigators. Natanya Holmes was last seen being guided by 2 women into the 2008 to 2010 minivan, possibly a Dodge without license plates. The district says it'll have additional district security, and Ferguson will have additional police officers on and around the campus at Ferguson Middle today. The St. Louis County Executive says name-calling in the race is Trumpian. Incumbent Sam Page was called Sleepy Sam by new Republican opponent Mark Mantovani just after Mantovani was picked to run on the GOP ticket by the party. Page responded today during his routine press briefing.
I think some of that is perhaps to establish credibility in the Republican Party, because that I think we see that across the country, see people try to act like the former president to be credible in certain circles in our community.
Mantovani lost the 2020 Democratic primary to Page. This week, Mantovani switched parties after the original Republican nominee, Catherine Pinner, quit the race. MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell says FBI agents have seized his cell phone, though the circumstances are unclear.
Lindell says several agents approached him at a Hardee's drive-thru in Minnesota with a warrant to take the phone. On a video version of his podcast, Lindell showed a letter signed by a federal prosecutor in Colorado about an official criminal probe of a suspected felony. The Justice Department has not commented on either the seizure or the investigation. Lindell says the agents questioned him about Tina Peters, a Colorado County clerk who's been charged in what prosecutors say was a deceptive scheme to breach voting system technology. Peters appeared at an event hosted last year by Lindell, who's been trying to prove voting machines have been manipulated. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Britain's Queen Elizabeth has left Buckingham Palace for the last time, carried in solemn procession to Westminster Hall in the Houses of Parliament. From London, CBS's Vicky Barker was watching.
The coffin is flanked by representatives of all of Britain's armed forces. Then, a few feet behind, King Charles III, his sons William and Harry, and other members of the Queen's closest family marching in silent formation.
From the First Mid Bank and Trust business desk, the Labor Secretary is now aiming to strike a last-minute deal between two large labor unions and the nation's biggest freight railroads to head off a work stoppage that would cause serious damage to the American economy. The parties face a midnight Friday deadline to avoid either a strike or a lockout.
I'm Stephen Portnoy. In the past, Congress has acted to prevent railroad strikes and end them by passing bills that impose terms on the parties. But even as the White House says a railroad work stoppage would be unacceptable, Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says now's not the time for lawmakers to intervene.
This is an issue that can and should be worked out between the rail companies and the unions, not by Congress.
Two large unions demand that the railroads end their new attendance policies and offer sick leave for the first time.
And the Dow from Stifel's up 68 points to 31,173. We've got emergency vehicles 270 south at Doherty Ferry and emergency vehicles 55 north at 141 there. The left lane is closed. And some bridge inspection work's got the right lane blocked of 270 at the Chain of Rocks Bridge.
KMOX AccuWeather, it's going to be nice and warm with sunshine, temperatures up in the mid-80s, and then we're going to warm into the mid to upper 80s to near 90 as we get towards the weekend, but it should be dry and nice for the Great Forest Park Balloon Race as we get ready for it Friday night and the race on Saturday. With AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Dean DeVore on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by St. Louis City SC, the new MLS club is now hiring stadium employees for the historic inaugural season. To work in St. Louis's professional soccer team and stadium, visit bit.ly/apply at City, bit.ly/apply at City. Sunny skies, 77 Florissant, 80 St. Peter's, 75 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
It's 11:05 on the show here on KMOX. Chris Raji, Kevin Wheeler here. Amy on vacation. She will be back next week. Now, we talked a bit about this about a half an hour ago, but certainly we don't have the level of expertise that our next guest does. They're going to help us out with this potential for a railway strike and how it really, if it were to happen in full force, would affect pretty much everything and a lot of different groups of people as well. John Worthen, kind enough to join us. He's staff writer for the Trucker Media Group. And first of all, John, thank you for doing this. We appreciate you. And secondly, obviously, we know this is a big story. How wide-ranging would it be should this go the wrong way?
Well, let's just put it in terms of dollars. We're talking billions and billions of dollars, the likes of which would spread across every facet of the economy, from the dinner table to the corporate offices, supplies that you need to keep things running, food, diapers, just everything that you can imagine that would travel on freight rails would be affected. So this is definitely something that we do not want to happen. And a lot of economists are saying that it would be absolutely devastating.
So in terms of the devastation, how soon do you think people, if this does go down, how soon would people realize it? Like when would you start to notice it if you go to the store and to find out how it actually affects you?
Well, one good thing about that is that the backups that we saw at the ports of LA and some of the larger ports across the country have subsided. So stores like Walmart, Target, Costco, Sam's Club, they all have quite a surplus of goods in their warehouses and their stores currently. So the immediate impact on goods, as far as tangible goods and food and things like that, wouldn't be immediately affected. But a week or two of a strike like this, I would say about a week or two, you would definitely start feeling it, and it's just going to trickle down from there.
You know, when we've been hearing the term supply chain a lot for a couple of years, John, and And certainly the reason why it's called a chain is because all of these elements are interlocked. They all function off of one another, right?
Absolutely. And just to put things in perspective, it would take about 460,000 additional long haul trucks to cover what the freight trains do every single day. So that number right there is astonishing. And of course, the trucking industry doesn't have that. We don't have the equipment. We don't have the drivers. We don't have the infrastructure. I mean, even if we did have the additional trucks available, there's no way the highways, could take that additional traffic. So it would be a terrible, devastating impact.
So how many, you mentioned 460,000 extra. How many are actually on the road on a daily basis?
We have several hundred thousand per day.
Okay.
I don't know the exact number, but yeah, it's. I mean, as far as additional, I mean, there would be no additional, no way that additional number could happen.
So we know how it would affect the average person. How would it end up affecting truckers themselves, people who drive for a living?
Yeah, well, the truck driver faces a lot of obstacles that a lot of people don't realize. With diesel prices being at record level highs over the past few months, a lack of safe, adequate parking. A lot of people, if you drive the interstates late at night, sometimes you see trucks stacked up on freeway ramps and things parked because, when their ELD, that's their electronic log device, when that device tells them they have to stop for the day, they legally have to stop no matter where they are. So they have to plan ahead and hopefully find a truck stop or a safe place to park, so they can shut down for the night because they can't go any further until, that log resets. And that's federally mandated by the DOT, Department of Transportation. So, compounding on those issues already, I mean, it would take an already stressed trucking industry to a breaking point, pretty much.
So we see that that's kind of related what you just talked about there. The basically being forced to rest, to take time off the road and get your sleep. It's similar to what we're talking about with this railway issue. They're not fighting over pay. They're not fighting over healthcare. It's about time off. It's about not just night, sleeping for the night, but like having days off, but they're on call essentially all the time. How does that standard compare to what truckers face?
Yeah, well, truckers have, they have you can have planned time off, especially if you work for one of the larger carriers. Now, the owner-operator really is, we like to advocate for the owner-operator, this is the independent man or woman who has their rig or rigs, and they work their own schedule. So a lot of times, they don't have the flexibility of, say, someone who works for Walmart as a driver, where they, so that's the differentiation there. But, stress to the max, I think, is your average truck driver already, just because we've been trying to catch up with supply chain. There's been a lot of backlogs at warehouses, and port wait times at ports for truck drivers, sometimes can stretch 10 or 12 hours. They've been trying, to fix that, but it's been a really stressful time for truck drivers.
So staffing is an issue everywhere, and you already mentioned it earlier, that there just aren't enough truck drivers as it is. So how is the industry trying to go about luring more people into the profession?
Well, big companies such as Walmart, they are now offering incentives up to $100,000 per year for new truck drivers. And a lot of the big companies are offering, big incentive packages and things such as that. But really the owner operator, the independent driver, they're the ones that are really kind of the heart and soul of the trucking industry. And their pay scales and things are nowhere near what, the big corporations can do. But it's just sort of a cycle that, it's just really tough, I guess is what I'm trying to say for the small independent operators.
I mean, we're hearing this. I mean, essentially, it's they each run their own small business, right? I mean, and we hear about all of these challenges. The bigger the business, the more they're going to be able to weather the storm. The smaller the business, the more you're going to feel everything, from the cost of fuel to the cost of getting food when you're on the road.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of independents have had to shut down because they simply, your 2 or 3 rig operations, your 1-man, 2-man operations, they've had to shut down because of the diesel prices and the stress of everything that's been going on with COVID. And it's just one thing after the other. And now to have this, rail strike looming, a lot of people think, yeah, it would be really good for business with, picking up more and more loads. But I mean, there's only a certain amount that you can do before the system collapses. So.
Yeah, this is a really volatile time, I think, for everybody. And I think a lot about the trucking industry from the perspective of, and this is kind of off topic here, but I think a lot about automated driving and how that's going to eventually affect people. And certainly it affects individual drivers because there will be less work if we ever get to that point. How much concern is there when it comes to companies like Tesla or I think it was Walmart was trying out not too long ago? There were driverless trucks and that sort of thing. How is that going to affect the industry, and is there worry about it?
There's definitely worry about it. And you're right, Walmart, FedEx, there actually is a corridor between Dallas and Houston now that's approved driverless test ground sort of for these driverless trucks. Now, many of them do have what they call pilots that sort of just sit back and watch the automated system to make sure nothing's going wrong. And there are different levels of automation. There's fully automated, which, has no driver, but they are monitored, from a remote site. So, but you're right. I mean, your drivers are certainly worried about it because, they don't want to, be obsolete at some point.
Right.
But really the technology isn't there at this point. We're still many years away from seeing fleets of automated trucks because there have been some issues with the technology at this point. It's just simply not ready. It's in the very early stages at this point, but there is some worry out there, but it's kind of down the road a little bit on that.
But is there planning ahead for when that happens, though? I mean, you would think that something like that's got to start, now.
As far as planning, I mean, yeah, definitely the big corporations are sinking millions and millions of dollars into it. You have, every other day, it seems like we get a news item from a company that's, starting automated trucking, or Walmart's, expanding their driverless programs. And so, yeah, definitely but as far as planning for driver obsolescence, no. I mean, your average driver, they're too busy, trying to find a good meal to eat or somewhere to park to really worry about it, in the forefronts of their mind right now.
So what does happen then? I mean, to all these people, it's easy to say, well, just go find other work. You're going to have to go do something else. But it seems like that wouldn't really be a good thing to displace these thousands of drivers. And it would happen gradually, but still, it's not a good thing to have all these people now having to figure out where to go do work.
Yeah, absolutely. And the truck driver is an independent spirit. He or she is not someone who wants to be behind a desk. They don't want to be tied down to, your regular 9 to 5, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, there's really not a transition for someone whose heart and soul is a trucker. What are they going to transition into? And, being forced to be out of what you love to do, I think is a very terrible situation to be in. We're not there yet, but I mean, if technology continues to advance as it is, at some point, you're right, we will face thousands and thousands of people who can no longer do what they love because they're no longer needed.
Great point, John. We really appreciate the information. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully this gets worked out properly here in the coming days so we don't end up having to go down this path. But we appreciate all the insight. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You got it. John Worthen from the Trucker Media Group. And again, we all know it, like intuitively, all of these things are interconnected. If one goes down, another's going to suffer. One might benefit a little bit, but it won't be able to pick up the slack. As he pointed out earlier, you would need an extra almost 500,000 trucks on the road to make up for the railways being shut down.
A lot.
I mean, as he said, the roads couldn't handle it.
Well, I mean, think about, I love truck drivers too. I get annoyed with them sometimes when they try to pass and I'm right in the lane and they get in front of me. But you think about there are certain times when you're on the road and there are so many trucks and you're like, why are there so many? Imagine adding 500,000 more. Like I know it wouldn't all be on the same highway, but it's already a lot sometimes, it seems.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Carol Daniel for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Online at youridoc.com or 314-966-5000.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today, and it's all no charge. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Giving credit where credit is due, Reinhold Electric has been my electrician for many years, and they should be yours too, and St. Louis agrees. Reinhold Electric was just voted 2022 STL Headliner's Best Electrician by the readers of STLtoday.com and the Post-Dispatch. So when your community all agrees that you are the best of the best, that's who you want on your job. Whether it's getting professional expert service for upgrading service panels, running power, repairing and updating lighting to the new LED lamps that save you money, installation of new systems, data and phone lines, backup generators, and they service those too. Or maybe you're trying to do better lighting in your parking lot. For homes and businesses all around the St. Louis metro area and beyond, rely on Reinhold Electric. Call them anytime at 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158. Online at REINholdelectric.com. That's ReinholdElectric.com. Tell them Bo sent you to St. Louis's best electrician, Reinhold Electric.
Attention veterans. If you were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. Cancers, birth defects, deadly illnesses have all been linked to the contaminated water. Congress is now holding the government accountable. You could be awarded financial compensation for your suffering, but you must act now. Visit sickvets.com for your free case review by True Law. That's sickvets, like veterans.com. Sickvets.com. Visit sickvets.com.
Buy today and save tomorrow with Lombardo Homes. Your dream home is within reach. Interest rates are on the rise, but home ownership is still affordable. In fact, Lombardo Homes will buy 2 points off your loan, bringing down your rate by as much as 0.75% when you sign your Lombardo Homes purchase agreement. This means lower monthly mortgage payments and more money for the things that matter. Restrictions apply. Please see sales manager for details. Visit lombardohomes.com for community details, floor plans, pricing, and home site availability.
Work or play, KMOX is right there with you. We go where you go.
11:22 on the show. Chris Raji, Kevin Wheeler here. Amy Marks, of course, on vacation. She will be back with us next week. Coming up this weekend, we have the 50th anniversary of the Great Forest Park Balloon Race. First was 1973. Of course, 2022 will make it 50 years and 50 times that we've had this great event. It's all starting up on Friday and runs through the weekend. We have Jessica Stegan online with us. She's the Director of Communications and Event Production for the Great Forest Park Balloon Race. Jessica, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. How's everything going with a couple days left before you fire this thing up?
Well, hi, everyone. Thanks for having us. We are so excited. I can't complain about these blue skies that we're looking at today and through the rest of the week. We're super pumped for that, of course. Our Central Fields is looking really good. We've had tents going up all week and really prepping for the glow on Friday and the race on Saturday.
So the part on Friday that happens in the evening, because it's a glow, and you want to see the pretty lights. When do you recommend people get there, and where do they go, and where are the best spots to be to see this?
So Emerson Central Fields is 30 acres of open air space. So there's plenty of space to picnic, hang out, enjoy the festivities once you get to the field. We do highly recommend trying to get to the park as close to 5 or as early as you can. The balloons will start to inflate around 6:45 as the sun starts to set. We have that magic hour going into the night. And we do, on our website, greatforestparkballoonrace.com, have some really great maps that show road closures and all the entry points to Forest Park to make it easy to plan ahead and sort of scope out where you want to head to park and then walk over to Emerson Central Fields. But the glow is just spectacular. We have 51 balloons coming this year. We have some shaped balloons coming to help us celebrate the 50th. And I think that's going to just add to the fun.
So you mentioned that starts around dusk, so you can get the lights going, because it stands out really great. I've been to the glow a couple of times. It stands out great when it starts to get dark out. But I should mention that there are a lot of other things to do in that lead up time if you get there early, right?
Absolutely. So we have DJ Reggie and his Hip Hop Mamas are going to be dancing on the Genesis of St. Charles main stage. They're going to have a couple performances, and DJ Reggie has a great time all night on that main stage. We've got a wide variety of activities from PNC Bank, our presenting sponsor. Children's Hospital will be out there. Lots of different games, photo ops. St. Louis Made has letters that you can take a picture with the balloons behind you. There's tons of festivities. And then after the glow, we have even more fun. So this year, Drury Hotels has helped us bring in the U.S. Army Golden Knights parachute team. They are an amazing, super elite performance team, and they will be jumping at 9 p.m. with pyro, which I'm really excited to see.
Fire,
After they land, we have more fireworks with our PNC Bank fireworks finale that ends the night on Friday night.
We're actually going to be talking to one of the
jumpers,
parachuters on Friday. That's going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah. So you've got the Golden Knights parachute team. You got the fireworks. All of that is happening on Friday, and then Saturday. That's when the actual race happens.
Sure. We're back at the field starting at 1 p.m. Everyone's welcome to again come down, have a picnic, enjoy all of the festival activities. We'll have inflatables on Saturday. Purina and the Pro Plan Performance Dog Team will be there performing.
Nice.
There's just tons of stuff to do before the balloons start to inflate. The Golden Knights are jumping again on Saturday to start our opening ceremonies. And then we do our pilot meeting, look at really the exact wind conditions of the day of, and get ready for the launch. And PNC Bank's balloon, which is called Bank on It, that's our hair balloon. And they start the race. So if you're on the field and you see that balloon taking off, that means we're ready to roll.
Game on. and maybe describe, I know we only have about a minute left, but describe for people that haven't been there or don't understand the race itself. It's as much a challenge as it is a race, correct?
It is. It's a lot about accuracy and really handling the wind. So the hair balloon gets that head start, and then we call the others the hound balloons. They launch in waves and try and drop a birdseed bag as close to the landing location of the hair balloon as possible. So they're not trying to land next to another balloon. They're not necessarily racing for speed. Our race is super unique because we're flying out of a metro area. So our pilots really love to fly over all of these neighborhoods, wave to people, say hi, and even land in some neighborhoods. And if you see a balloon land in your neighborhood, come on out. The pilots love to meet you, and you can help pack up the balloon.
Can Kevin and I be on a balloon or no?
Well, that's up to KMOX. And you know what? KMOX is our longest running sponsor. They were there in 1973.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a fantastic event. Again, I want to remind everybody of the website, greatforestparkballoonrace.com. Really easy to remember that one. Jessica, thanks for the time and the information. We're looking forward to the weekend.
So are we. Thanks so much.
All right, have fun. That's Jessica Stegan, and she is the Director of Communications and Event Production for the Great Forest Park Balloon Race. If you want to find out more, you can find some at KMOX.com and, of course, at Great Forest Park Balloon Race.
Let's jump out with the Golden Knights instead.
I would definitely like to do that.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's go
Give me
talk
some pyro.
I'll go talk to Steve.
Have you heard the news?
I'm Megan Lynch. These are the stories making news.
Start your day with Total Information AM.
I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Debbie, Tom, and Megan bring you St. Louis's news.
Missouri's new voting laws.
Traffic from Roger Brand.
Busy on the highways.
And the latest forecast.
I'm AccuWeather meteorology Steve DeVore.
At 8.
I'm Carol Daniel.
And I'm Tom Ackerman.
It's Total Information AM expanded with more news, interviews, and in-depth story coverage.
COVID boosters.
Total Information AM on 98.7 FM, 1120 AM, and the Odyssey app.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet Store. Do you want to walk and stay healthy, but cannot because you are in pain?
I just had difficulty walking. I could not walk in bare feet at all.
Do you keep buying new shoes and inserts from the drugstore with little or no relief?
I tried all kinds of shoes. It was the arch supports that made the difference from the Good Feet Store.
The Good Feet system fits in all your shoes. So come to the Good Feet Store and become pain-free today.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet Store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet Store.
Why are some people afraid to enjoy their retirement? And why are some people so worried about spending money during their golden years? Maybe it's because they're afraid of running out of money. Maybe they're afraid of depleting their nest egg, either through spending too much or through investment strategies that could result in losses. Hi, my name is Ken Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. Do you have a fear of depleting your savings and running out of money too soon? Let me help put your mind at ease. I can help you create an optimal retirement income distribution strategy that helps to maximize income from your retirement savings and eliminate your fear of running out of money. Call 314-328-4400 today and schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-4400. Again, 314-328-4400.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
At 11:30, it's sunny and 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. Queen Elizabeth II has left Buckingham Palace for the last time. The late monarch's coffin was brought to Westminster Hall by a horse-drawn carriage. Her son, King Charles III, and his siblings and sons marched behind the coffin, which was topped by a wreath of white roses and her crown resting on a purple velvet pillow. The Justice Department says 3 Iranian citizens have been charged in the United States with cyber attacks that targeted power companies, local governments, and small businesses and nonprofits, including a Pennsylvania domestic violence shelter. St. Louis County now has the new COVID-19 booster in stock. You must have had the original vaccine to qualify for the booster. It's available for anyone 12 years old and up. Afternoon appointments are available at the John C. Murphy Health Center in Berkeley and the South County Health Center in Sunset Hills. KMOX traffic, emergency vehicles on 70 going east past Tucker have the right lane closed. There's a stall 6440 east at Olive. That's on the right shoulder, and some bridge inspection works in the right lane of 270 at the Chain of Rocks Bridge. Also some police activity in the right lane of 70 east at the Stam Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge. Weather is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, and Dean DeVore says sunny and warm this afternoon with a high of about 85. Clear overnight, the low 63. Tomorrow, plenty of sun with a high of 86. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Sunny and 78 degrees at the moment downtown at the Arch. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Charlie Brennan sees clearly thanks to Dr. Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman at ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, but you're not sure where you're going to go after you sign a contract with a buyer, if you sell to us, we can provide a flexible closing date for you. And once we've written a contract, we can actually adjust the closing date if you need to move it up or you need to move it back at any time. Find us at ClaymanGroup.com. and simplify your sale by closing on your timeline. KLAMEN Group.com.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Fruits and vegetables are very environmentally friendly foods. Make them even more friendly by eating them in season. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Albert Pujols comes to bat.
Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols talks with Tom Ackerman Mondays at 9:50.
He hits a fly ball left field, and it's gone!
Exclusively on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Like, you have to have a 5-year plan so you can have longevity. Because my parents were like all parents, who was like, I want to be a YouTuber. And like, okay, how are you gonna make money? Is this an actual job? Well, I tell the story all the time. And this was back in, I think, when I was a freshman in high school. Me and my parents were at Applebee's. We sat down. I did a whole PowerPoint presentation right in the booth, telling them my 5-year plan of what I wanted to do, what kind of content I wanted to make, and just like the general money value that it brings.
All right, that is from our What the Media podcast series. That's Megan Lynch and Julie Smith. They are talking to Stephen Works, who gets paid to play The Sims.
What?
He gets paid for playing the game, the video game, The Sims.
Yeah, where you pretend to be a whole other person or family and you build a house and stuff?
Yeah, so you heard what he was talking about. You had to put together 5 years. This all started when he was in 8th grade.
Oh, boy.
He decided, this is what I want to do. Here's how I'm going to make money off of it. And we all know that this is, this isn't a new thing for a lot of people. It's something that I'm pretty familiar with. I don't do it. I should. I wish I went pro. I could have gone pro. I'm like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. I could have gone pro.
Yeah, throwing a football over the mountains.
If Coach would have just put me in.
We'd have taken state.
But this is a concept that a lot of people don't get, right? Like, how can you make money playing video games? Well, first of all, you can get scholarships for esports.
Yes.
So you can go to college. Maryville has a competitive esports team, and a lot of colleges, actually high schools are doing it now too. There are high schools in the area and around the country that have esports arenas in their buildings, and they're, obviously they're able to compete against other high school programs and other teams. And now those are kind of specific live action games where you're all in the game at the same time and you're competing against one another. What we're talking about in this particular case is basically getting sponsorships and having people that will pay to watch you play.
Yes.
You'll go on and you'll, like, for example, you'll log on Twitch. You have a following. If you have a large enough following, eventually sponsors will come on board because they want their products to be seen by the people that like to watch you. And for a lot, it's not an easy thing. I mean, I would probably compare significant success in this to being a successful movie actor, to being a successful rock star, to being a professional athlete in terms of the odds. The odds are not with you. You're probably most likely, if you embark on this endeavor, you're not going to make a significant amount of money, but you can. And you can make a career out of it, which I know is odd to a lot of people, but You know what? The idea of a YouTuber not that long ago was very odd to people. Like, what? You're going to make money to just make videos of yourself on YouTube? And yeah, because it's all about compelling content and it's all about keeping people watching. It's just like TV and radio. When you have an audience and you can measure it, people will give you money to get their business's exposure.
It's really amazing because when I grew up, and I hate that I tell these when I was a kid stories. Like, I hate that I'm able to do it now.
Ron's like,
it's
when
so,
I was a boy.
Oh God, it's the worst. It's the kind of thing you never really think you're going to have to do. But when I was a kid, I think it was 9-ish years old, or maybe 10, when NES came out, the first Nintendo Entertainment System. And it was the kind of thing where, you wanted to play all the time. It's all you ever wanted to do. You played with your friends, and you never once thought about the possibility of there being money in it, that there could be money in this for you just by playing. There was no reality of that. The only way to make money in video games was to actually make video games, which is a very small pool of people.
Writing the code. Now it would be writing the scripts and doing a lot
because
of the
because the systems like the PlayStation 5 now, and is it Xbox One X? Is that the latest version? They are like, the industry is incredible because they are movies. Like these, we talk about television shows being movies now, just extended. Video games are like that. You're playing out a story. The visuals are amazing now. If you have like a PS5, if you got like a PS4, it's still really, really incredible. It feels like you're watching a TV show that you have a say in, and just to be able to do that for a living. If you were 9 years old and somebody told you, hey, this could be a career for you, yeah, you're very much in the minority. Like there would be very few people who can do it and do it for a lot of money. But like an athlete, like you said, if you get to the top of the industry, you can make a ton of money. There's a guy who goes by, and he's been around for a long time. He goes by PewDiePie. That's his name.
Yep.
You've heard of PewDiePie.
Yeah.
He's so far this year made $40 million.
Yeah.
Streaming video games. Ninja, who you may have heard of before.
He's the other one.
He has made 25 mil this year.
Yeah.
The year isn't even over yet. Shroud is another guy, $22 million. Like, there are 3 people right there who so far, the year's not even over, and they have collectively made almost $90 million just by streaming video games on Twitch. And what's really odd about it is when I remember growing up playing, the last thing I wanted to do was be in a room with other people playing Nintendo and watch them do it. I wanted to play. I didn't want to watch people do it. So it's an interesting thing now that people will log on. They'll go to YouTube, they'll go to Twitch just to watch other people play video games, which is a concept I never even dreamed of.
No, I mean, if you ask me, this is why I don't spend a lot of time on things like Twitch watching others, because I'd rather just be playing. Like, I have all of these games. I would rather be playing Elden Ring or MLB The Show or whatever than watching someone else. But I get the draw because, as you pointed out, a lot of this is more than what games used to be.
Yeah.
And, if you think about how entertainment transforms, I can promise you that all of us can flash back. And it does not matter how old you are, whether you're 40 or 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, whatever. At some point, the generations older than you did not get what you found entertaining. They didn't get it. They didn't understand why you liked it. They didn't understand what made it so great. I just watched, not that long ago, I just watched the Elvis Presley movie, the Baz Luhrmann, and the older generation didn't get it. They don't understand. Why do you like this? This is terrible. Why this is bad for you. And it's I mean, this has been going on since human beings have existed. Older generations never really understand younger ones, and that's okay because you're not supposed to. Each of us has our own things. I don't get a lot of music acts that are the newest of the new because it's not for me. It's made for people that are 20, 30 years younger than me, that are 25, heck, 40 years younger than me in some cases. In this case, though, this is an area that I continue to be involved with pretty actively because like I said, I play a lot of games. I don't do a lot. I've never done the Twitch. I really should, just for fun, because because it's interactive. You're talking, Because it's more than just the game that they're tuning in for. There's a reason they want Ninja. There's a reason they want to see PewDiePie. It's the personality, a sense of humor. It's all of that goes with watching this story play out, or watching them. A lot of times it's Call of Duty, and you're watching them in the first-person shooter type games, or in the battle royale games. I've actually watched some of those, and it's kind of fun. I've watched people playing PUBG and playing. That's for those in a PlayerUnknown Battleground, which is very much like Fortnite, but it's more realistic, as realistic as it can be when you're dropped into an empty field and you have to find all your guns. Like it's a very interesting dynamic.
You just somehow landed in a field with a bunch of weapons. You have to find them.
It just looks more like the real
realistic
world than Fortnite. Fortnite's more cartoonish.
Yeah.
But it's the entertainment value of seeing how they would do it, and also you learning from it. And I've done that. I've watched a bunch of walkthroughs and videos to show you how something difficult can be done, as opposed to just cheating it. But you can watch somebody else and go, oh, that's how they do it. Because there are a lot of ways to work around problems. And I think you nailed it, Ranj. People will laugh at you when you're doing it, or why do you spend so much time on that? Well, why do you watch movies?
Sure.
Why do you watch television shows? In this case, at the very least, my brain is active, and I'm actually impacting the story. The story will change based on what I'm doing.
Well, let's look at it this way. There is the PlayStation 5, which is out now. There's a game called Horizon. It's, I think, Forbidden West, I want to say. They have Angela Bassett is one of the voices on the game. Yeah. We're not talking about just some scrub voice actor that's a nobody. They have those people too,
and
but
they're really good, by the way.
Yeah, they get people. The Assassin's Creed game that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is, dang it, I can't remember, but she's in The Expanse. She is the dark hair with the real deep voice, the gravelly deep voice. The actress,
the character is
Avasarala. Is that her?
She was also in 24. I believe
she's in a lot of stuff.
Homeland.
Yeah. She's an actor on the new Assassin's Creed game that's coming out. They get legitimate people.
Mm-hmm.
to come and voice these roles because they are like actual movies, because the visuals are amazing. They look so good. It's a lot different than the 8-bit Nintendo, which was fun in its own way, but how far they've come from Legend of Zelda to where it is now is just it's awesome.
I wouldn't have sat and watched Pong.
No.
Unless I'm just waiting for my turn, I would not have sat and watched even something like Tecmo Bowl, which was more college era for me. But as advanced as they are now, it's a common thing. And if you want to learn more about it, go to KMOX.com. Under the podcast tab, just click on the What the Media podcast. That's where Megan Lynch and Julie Smith got together and talked with Stephen Works to kind of explain how all of this works.
By the way, you mentioned Maryville University being one of the esports schools. They're considered the 45th best esports college. Number 2, Mizzou.
Interesting.
Yeah, according to this NCSA power ranking.
Not that good.
Well,
we're actually going to talk about them next.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, you decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St.Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St.Louis.com or call 314-328-8000.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Everyone, who's manning the front tonight?
Big E's nightclub needs a bouncer with a military background.
Dougie, I need you to keep eyes on the back.
Security who lays down the no-no when the uns get too intense.
That Swedish DJ duo is back tonight. Y'all remember last time.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us in Forest Park, September 16th and 17th, to celebrate the 50th annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Visit GreatForestParkBalloonRace.com for a sneak peek at the beautiful balloon set to take flight, plus event details and directions. Sponsored by Fox 2 and KPLR 11. Visit Mo.com, STL Made, and the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman, check out the only agents that I trust at thegelmanteam.com.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today, and it's all no charge. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Tom Ackerman sees clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
When it comes to planning your retirement, there's a lot to think about. Portfolio management, tax planning, and retirement income just to get started. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group focus on those things and more. Their goal is to help you achieve your goals. Call 636-230-8824 or online, yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered through All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuity products offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
The World Trade Center St. Louis is hosting its annual Growing Global Luncheon Friday, September 30th at the Ritz-Carlton in Clayton. With the successful launch of direct flights to Europe, Growing Global 2022 will explore international connectivity and the value and impact of connecting our community and businesses in a 21st century global economy. Registration and sponsorships are available at worldtradecenter-stl.com. Reserve your spot now and join us for Growing Global September 30th.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
Join the Foundation Fighting Blindness at the St. Louis Vision Walk on Saturday, October 1st at Creve Coeur Lake Park to help find cures to diseases that cause blindness. Visit visionwalk.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. They're back.
Three best friends.
Hey.
The three amigos.
Yeah. Kevin, Chris, and Amy. The show.
There's an old Bill Parcells quote that talks about, losers assemble in groups and complain. And I would add, get on Twitter and message boards and have all the answers. And winners assemble as a team and find ways to win. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to assemble as a team and find ways to win. And we're not going to focus on the toxicity or negativity. That has nothing to do with winning and won't produce any type of outcome for us that we want it to be.
There you go. That was Eli Drinkwitz coming off of this week. And he said that on Tuesday during a media session where you're talking a bit about, where you you go from 1 week to the next week, right? You start to make the change from what we just saw to what we're going to see. And I don't really want this to be all about Coach Drink because I like him.
He seems like a fun person for the most part.
He needs a lot more time. The program was in a bad place when he got there. COVID was his first year.
Yeah.
Like this is not a point where we need to be evaluating his performance, but this kind of thing really bothers me. And it's probably because we see it in all walks of life. People who want the jobs that come with the power, that come with responsibility, that come with the salary. People that have jobs in the Senate, people who are the governor and the mayor and the state representative, people that are in positions of power that want all that, but they don't want to deal with the questions that come with it. They don't want to deal with having to answer for their performance. You know, I think this is something in the world that bothers me more than anything. Where is your pride? Like, if you're not performing well, now his answer's not the end of the world. By the way, there's also another Bill Parcells quote that I'm a fan of, and it says, "You are what your record says you are." So, you know, if we want to throw around Bill Parcells quotes, that one's pretty apt too.
I like the one that's, we hold these truths to be self-evident. That's my favorite.
That wasn't Bill Parcells.
Oh, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing.
That was not Bill Parcells.
Oh, 407 years ago.
Might have been Parcells.
Okay.
Now, but the bigger point here is, number one, if you can't take without even, because I hear this from people in power all the time, right? You hear this from coaches, you hear it from politicians. Yeah, I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. I'm not paying attention to social media and Twitter, except that they come out and admit that they're paying attention to criticism and that it bothers them. And what I'm saying is simple. If you have a position of authority, if you have a position of power, if you have a position of influence, embrace all of it. Don't be afraid of having to answer the tough stuff. And don't be put off by the fact that people are critical of the work that you're not getting done. Because you can say all you want. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. Our good friend Chris Duncan used to say this all the time. And it was how he was coached coming up. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. So if you're going to hold an important job, don't tell me what you're going to do. Just do it. Just do it, and then we can talk later. And meanwhile, if you're not getting it done, accept the criticism and don't be a jerk about it.
College football is not Congress. It is not as important of a job, though a lot of college football coaches around the country are the highest paid state employees.
Don't tell that to Tommy Tuberville.
Tommy Tuberville. But it's true. I mean, there are Nick Saban, but that also actually kind of makes sense in some regards because the college football program in many states might be the biggest revenue generator of any individual business. So I do understand that to an extent. So, but I also know that being a football coach is not the most important thing in the world. It affects the people who play. It affects the people who watch on Saturday, who invest their emotions in it. It affects those people, but it doesn't affect policy. It doesn't drive how the average everyday person is able to live their life easier or more difficult. So I get that it's not that. And I get that what Eli is doing here is also trying to rally his people, and it's us against them kind of thing, which is a thing a lot of teams do. Like, the world's against us. Nobody believes in us, and it's a motivational thing.
You're describing the entire political universe. When somebody comes after you, our opponents hate us,
you know what?
And we need to stick together.
That's true. Politicians do it also now. And it used, and which is just further proof that politics is sports now. That people have their teams, and that's it. And then sometimes people who operate within those teams operate as if it's a team because it is party over country a lot of times. So I believe that this mindset is not exclusive to college football or sports. It happens a lot in sports with a lot of different people, but it's not helpful. It's not, and then it's certainly not helpful to call your constituents losers, people on message boards. Well, the people on message boards are still your fans. They're still your people, and they still want you to do better. But I think the greater point is if you're going to take a job that has responsibility behind it, do every part of the job and don't complain about it.
If you filed a tax extension in April, don't wait until it's too late to handle your tax issues. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. Every year, thousands of Missourians file extensions when their taxes are due in April. But what people don't know is the extension only moves your deadline to file your return, not to pay your taxes. So if you didn't pay anything back in April, you could now owe taxes plus interest plus penalties. You think you've bought yourself time, but really you've just added to the total bill. If this sounds like you, call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I am a local tax attorney with an A+ BBB rating, and I will meet with you right away to help handle your tax problems quickly. The deadline to file your return after an extension has already passed, so call the Lance Drury Law Firm now before it's too late. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Here's a message from MSD Project Clear Know Your Zone. Heavy rains can result in flooding. If you're a homeowner, a business owner, or even a renter, MSD Project Clear wants to encourage you to protect your property from flooding by knowing your flood risk. Make the decision to protect your property. Remember, anywhere it can rain, it can flood. Visit knowyourzone.org to learn more about your individual flood risk. That's knowyourzone.org.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
I'm sure that you've felt the shift in the real estate market and have wondered how it will affect you. Is it time to buy or is it time to sell? What are your options? Hi, I'm Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Give us a call and we can discuss a strategy that works for your individual needs in this ever-changing market. Quality and experience at a more affordable rate. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444. 314-441-4444.
Free Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
I'm in a test plot near Portageville, Missouri that's dedicated to new Pioneer brand A-Series and List E3 soybeans. Row to row, it looks impressive. But what's more impressive is what you can't see with the naked eye. Exclusive and elite Pioneer genetics. And the performance makes it anything but a regular Enlist E3 soybean. From field to lab, Pioneer brand A-Series and List E3 soybeans are like no other.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a sunny sky and 80 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story this hour, Ferguson Florissant school officials issue a statement saying they're working with investigators on a reported abduction at Ferguson Middle School Monday afternoon. That after an Amber Alert was issued for a missing 12-year-old girl who left the school property in a blue van. Natonya Holmes was last seen being guided by two women into the 2008 to 2010 minivan, possibly a Dodge without license plates. The district says it will have additional district security, and Ferguson will have additional police officers on and around the campus at Ferguson Middle today. Now that Ukrainian troops have reclaimed some areas and forced out Russian troops, some are coming out of the basements they've been holed up in for months. CBS News correspondent Deborah Pata reports that Ukrainian troops she spoke with did not see the Russian retreat coming.
He said the minute that the front line folded, then the troops behind just collapsed and ran away, effectively. They ran really, really fast, terrified that they were going to be surrendered or captured.
The St. Louis County executive is defending his record on COVID after criticism from his new Republican opponent. As KMOX told you this week, former Democrat Mark Mantovani is now the GOP nominee, running against incumbent Democrat Sam Page. Mantovani is criticizing how Page handled COVID response, saying the county executive relied too heavily on advice from health officials. Page says he did get input from other community stakeholders.
We had
many different business advisory groups that were in constant daily and weekly contact with the health department and helped us adjust our policies to the real world impact of those policies and helped us provide guidance to different business sectors who were desperately seeking guidance in a very difficult time in the history of our community and the history of our country.
Shortly after his nomination, Mantovani called Page Sleepy Sam. Page says Mantovani is using Trumpian language. Between standing up and down to see if Albert Pujols would hit another historic home run, Cardinals fans at Busch Stadium last night discussing next year's MLB rule changes.
I like the pitch clock. I think it'll help. I don't like the shift rules.
I think let's keep the game the way it is and have fun.
The bigger bases thing don't bother me. It's kind of a player safety thing. I can understand that. Too many injuries in the last couple of years.
The fact that the bases are bigger, they think that there'll be more stolen bases, maybe.
What do you think Ricky Henderson thinks about that?
I don't think he'd like it.
Meantime, Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina make Major League history tonight with the most starts as a pitcher-catcher battery. The first pitch of start number 325 is at 6:45 on KMOX as the Cardinals take on the Brewers. The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, businesses and government officials are bracing for the possibility of a nationwide rail strike at the end of this week.
In anticipation of Friday's strike deadline, rail companies have already started to curtail shipments of hazardous materials and announced plans to stop hauling refrigerated products. Now, businesses that rely on those railroads to deliver their raw materials and finished products have started planning for the worst. Meanwhile, Biden administration officials are scrambling to develop a plan to use trucks, ships, and planes to try to keep the most crucial chemicals and other goods moving if the railroads stop rolling. I'm Julie Walker.
The Dow from Stifel is up 109 points to 31,214. KMOX traffic, debris 270 south at 6440's got the right lane closed. Emergency vehicles 70 east past Tucker have the right lane closed. Stall 6440 east at Olive on the right shoulder.
It's going to be a sunny, warm afternoon, really not humid, high around 85, low to mid 60s tonight. Warm, not humid, mid 80s again tomorrow. And then getting into the weekend, it gets hotter, approaching 90 on Friday. Should be a great night for the Glow at the Great Forest Park balloon race. And then the race itself on Saturday looks warm. Temperatures up near 90. With AccuWeather, meteorologist Steve DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Sunny 81 Florissant, 83 St. Peter's, 80 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
Tough night. Bad pills as well. Yadier Molina swings and hits it high, deep to left. Did he get enough? Back at the track. Get up, baby, get up. 2-run home run, and the Cardinals take the lead on a home run by Yadier Molina, his second in this series. He touches them all, and the Cardinals lead 3-1.
There you go. One of the top stories for the day here in St. Louis. That would be Yadier Molina there in the highlight from the 2006 National League Championship Series. And, of course, his battery mate tonight, Adam Wainwright, making history. Tonight will mark their 325th start together. That is the most in Major League Baseball history for any starting pitcher and catcher. Pretty remarkable achievement, especially when you consider, Ranj, that you're doing this in the age of free agency where players can and often do move around a lot, whether you do it on your own in free agency or you end up getting traded. But I think a lot of circumstances align for this, right? You have a team that's always competitive. The Cardinals have been competitive the entire time those two players have been in the major leagues, which helps you want continuity, right? You're never going through a rebuild where you're going to trade off veterans and get young dudes. So part of it is the type of team that you've been on and the way that they do business. Part of it is they've liked being here and they've been paid accordingly. And of course, part of it is just amazing skill. Like to be able to do these things for this long is unusual, whether you're doing it with one team or not. And the fact that they've gotten to do it together for almost 20 years is crazy.
It's a good point that the team has been competitive pretty much every season. You've never really had one of those drawn out 60 wins, 70 wins stretches where they're really bad and they just say, you know what? Time to move on. We need to rebuild. And in those cases, that's when popular players a lot of times tend to get dealt because teams are just trying to start from scratch. So it never really happened here.
Look at Juan Soto. Look at what the Cubs had to do, right? The Cubs had to sell off all of those key players, Chris Bryant, all the guys that helped them win a World Series.
Rizzo, Baez, yeah.
I shouldn't say that they had to. They chose
to. That's the important key.
But this team doesn't do that. They always look from year to year to try to be good, and that's part of how this kind of thing continues. And that'll be happening tonight, by the way. KMOX night at the ballpark tonight. Looking forward to it. We'll all be over there. Glover Show will be there. Most of TIAM. You and I are going to be there. Everybody but Amy because she's on vacation.
Amy picks the worst time for vacation.
Missing our night at the ballpark.
It's just, she's really, truly incredible.
Yeah. Why do you look at me like that?
I don't know, man.
Timing is there. Listen, you go when the vacations are
the
planned,
worst
man.
time. I hope. What did I tell her? That I hope that something happened, like the smoke is up there, right? They have to get stuck in the hotel.
Well, they're dealing with
what are they doing?
Yeah, she's going up to Canada. They're doing a bunch of outdoors stuff, but
outdoorsy
some
people.
of the cities in that area have had to issue warnings to residents not to leave because wildfire smoke is causing problems and can lead to health issues and things along those lines. So you were being mean and teasing her and saying you hoped that they got stuck in the hotel.
Yeah, it's really.
And then
not
I said
funny,
that's
is it?
not nice. And
yeah, it's
you
not
should
nice.
have fun, and I hope you have fun.
I do, and I feel bad.
You should.
I feel bad that I thought that for a second.
Yeah, you should.
Although
you should feel bad that you said it too.
We also talked a lot today about what's happening with the rail workers and the potential of a strike. If the engineers and conductors in particular, and a lot of the rail unions have already agreed to something, but it's in particular the conductors and it's the engineers who are looking for better working conditions, namely time off.
That makes sense.
Yes, like there just isn't a profession where you can expect people to never be off work. And that sounds like that's what they're looking for. Not sure if they're going to get it, but we know the consequences are going to be devastating if it doesn't happen, if they don't get a deal done by Friday.
If they don't, I do believe that the government steps in.
I think so too.
I don't think there's any way you can't.
They can't allow it.
We can say that we don't like government getting involved in most things and make exceptions when we're already in a difficult economic time to make it even more difficult. Because we talked a bit about this earlier with John Wortham, that this would put undue burden on the trucking industry, which is already dealing with a burden, which is already dealing with the same difficulties that we've all been talking about for the last couple of years. You're going to talk about, if you think about all of the way things are interconnected, Raj, I mean, the transportation by sea is impacted. So if you don't have trains running to unload the product and take it where it needs to go, you're going to get backed up at the ports.
Yeah.
You're going to have trucks trying to carry extra load, and they're not going to be able to carry that much more. You can't put extra trucks on the road that would help make a dent in this kind of difficulty. So the last thing we need are prices to go even higher and problems to get even deeper than they already are, with the stock market not liking the fact that it looks like interest rates are going to go back up. Like, it's just too delicate a time to not step in, even if you don't like government interference on things. Typically, this would be a case where you probably have to accept that that's potentially a necessary step here in the coming days.
And I think for a lot of people who don't want that to happen, to acknowledge that sometimes there are exceptions, that means you have to acknowledge that sometimes there are exceptions. And there are some people who just don't ever want to acknowledge that the government should never, ever interfere ever. Well, sometimes the government kind of has to do that, whether or not you like it.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think they'll get something. If they don't get something done in the next 24 hours, you're pretty much guaranteed. I guess it's not 24 hours, probably 36 hours.
Yeah.
If they don't get something done by then, I think the government's going to force it to happen.
So
because like you said earlier, we can't afford another thing. We've got enough things right now. We can't afford another thing.
Yeah. And you know what they're fighting for in this case they're not fighting for more money. That's not what they're arguing for. They're not even asking for better health care or anything. They're asking simply to have more time off, paid sick days, paid time off, where, as you mentioned, they're on the clock basically all the time, and or they're at least on call if they're not on the clock. I looked at this story. There's a story about this from April, by the way. So this has been brewing for a long time, where the work because these new rules came in February regarding time off and this point system that they use. So if you take days off, you have to use points to do it. And the only way you can build points back up is to be on call for like 14 days consecutive, and all you get is 90 minutes notice from when they need you.
Which is, you can't go anywhere.
No, you can't be a parent. And that was one of the things in this story is all of these people who are parents talking about how essentially they're not there. So this is like one person was saying, I can't take time off to have a weekend with my family because one of my parents is sick. And if they pass away, I'll probably have to use all of my points just to take time off for that. And I can't afford to not have those for that. So now I don't get to take weekends. We've got these one parent saying I can just parent now by FaceTime. I'm never there. I don't get to my kids' sporting events. They don't see me. They don't even ask about when I'm coming home anymore. One guy said he hadn't seen his kid awake in 3 weeks because he'll be there in the middle of the night. The kid's sleeping, so he just goes to bed. And he hasn't seen the kid awake in 3 weeks. These things are unreasonable things.
A texter we got earlier from a 251 says, when you work for corporate America, do you have to sell your soul to the devil for good pay? And it's a good question. Like, it shouldn't have to be that way. And I know that'll be the argument from some people, like, well, the average pay for these workers is $122,000 a year, which is a very good salary. Yeah, that's true. But that shouldn't be the other end of it.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, look, I am saying this as somebody who admits they're not certain that this is the reality, but I would bet that when they took these jobs originally, it was not said to them, hey, we're going to pay you $122,000, but you don't get any time off ever.
You have no life.
I guarantee you that was not the deal made to them when they took this work.
Yeah. And so there's a story told. So I saw this story. This was actually back in April, but I found it again here because it was linked to a story from yesterday. This is from Vice News, and it's from an engineer named Steve. So this is his quote. Think about how crazy this sounds at the end of all this. He said, taking a weekend day off would equate to 4 points every week. So that's a weekend day a week. Not 2 weekend days a week. One would cost him 4 points each week. And he says, I would exhaust my bank of 30 points in 8 weeks. So you can get 8 weeks where you get 1 day off per week using this point system. And he said, so now there are times I'll go weeks without seeing my children because I don't have the flexibility to manage my days as freely as I used to. My family's directly suffering due to this new high-vis attendance policy, which is what we're talking about here. This is what they need changed. And he said, my family's directly suffering due to this. It's either going to result in my firing or my kids growing apart from me. Another worker added to that, my kids will grow up with me being an absent father. This is insanity.
And
this is the requirement for, by the way, an industry that is super necessary and makes money and makes lots of it, like tens of billions of dollars per company per year.
Yeah, but we're talking like 20 bill plus. The top couple of companies are pulling in over $20 billion a year, or they did in 2021. And this is even after COVID. And 2021 was still a year that, and I guess to an extent, a large extent, we are dealing with COVID after effects now, but definitely we're feeling it all of last year. They still profited in a very big way. So why are you not hiring people? I know there are a lot of industries that are having difficult times filling all of their open positions.
And getting qualified people too, yeah.
Right, but we're talking about well-compensated people. Why can't you afford to find people who will take good-paying jobs? And then because you have enough people on staff, you can also then give the people who do work for you typical time off, like a regular person gets. Weekends off. Time off every now and then where you don't really have to be on call. I don't understand what the hang up is, which is, I'm sure, a big reason the government doesn't want to step in because they want the railroad industry, the companies, to fix this. And they can fix it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, again, the government can take action and make sure that things that everybody keeps working and avoids actually going on strike. But somehow, some way, a deal's going to need to be made there. All right, coming up next, we know, I think you all know, high school kids can be really stupid sometimes. Well, these kids in Florida were way dumber, and they're going to pay a price. I'm going to tell you about this story, how they pulled a prank that a shooter was in the cafeteria. They did this as a prank down in Florida. I'll explain and talk about what they're facing next up.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today and it's all no charge. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Trish Gazelle for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Online at youridoc.com or 314-966-5000.
At Miller Furniture, we've taken the guesswork out of mattress shopping by hand selecting the perfect mattress for every sleep style. Choose from locally handcrafted mattresses like Spring Air and Chatham and Wells. Stop by one of our 3 Miller Furniture sleep centers in Belleville, Lake St. Louis, or Ellisville to find out which mattress fits your sleep style. For the first time ever, we're offering our maximum 25% discount. All you have to do is mention this ad. Miller Furniture, delivering luxury sleep for less since 1927.
Hey, listener. Welcome to Limu's Karaoke Lounge, where Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need, and the music never stops. Hit it.
There's an emu with a full-time job. His partner's Doug, but Limu's the heartthrob. Grubs and worms, that's what Limu eats. Gotta fuel up to save you money and hit the streets.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/communitybanking. This summer, the Little Bit Foundation lost their huge warehouse and headquarters in the flood. It's both a heartbreaking and inspirational story, with Busey and the community helping. Listen to our September podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/communitybanking.
On Thursday, September 15th, the Cardinals host the Reds. That night, the Birds will have the luck of the Irish on their side when Halfway to St. Patrick's Day returns to Busch Stadium. With the purchase of a special themed ticket, fans will receive a one-of-a-kind Cardinals flannel shirt. This blue and green long-sleeve button-down shirt sports the STL logo inside a 4-leaf clover. That's Thursday, September 15th, Halfway to St. Patrick's Day at the ballpark. For tickets or more information, visit cardinals.com/theme.
Let's go Blues. On Friday, September 16th, the Cardinals host the Reds, and that night, 25,000 fans, 16 and older, will take home a Cardinals hockey sweater, courtesy of Valley Sports Midwest. Now you can look like the pros on the ice and on the field. That's Friday, September 16th. Celebrate the kickoff to hockey season at the ballpark. For tickets or more information, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
Local news and information direct to your smart speaker. Just say, play KMOX.
All right, just after the news at 12:30, John Rooney's going to join us, his weekly visit with us here on the show for our Redbird Report. And, of course, it's KMOX night at the ballpark tonight. And nice coincidence that Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina are the battery for tonight. It'll be their 325th start together. And that, once they start the game, once the first pitch is thrown, will set Major League Baseball's all-time record for a batter inning, and that'll be coming up tonight. We'll talk to John Rooney about that in a few minutes. Raj, did you see the story out of Daytona, Florida?
Oh, it's something, Kevin.
So the students at Mainland High School decided that they were going to play a prank, and I say that with air quotes, play a prank, I guess, on their fellow classmates by pretending there was an active shooter in the cafeteria. So what they did, according to police, this is all what police have found in looking at the school's security video, is that these kids strategically set themselves up at different places in the cafeteria to start a process that would lead to a chain reaction. The chain reaction they wanted was to panic and make everybody run out of the school. So at the beginning of it, of this action, again, this is what the police down there are saying, is that a couple of students started running up to an administrator at the school and started yelling that somebody had a gun. As soon as they did that, another student started running to try to get other people to follow him outside, out of the building. This led to chaos. This led to everybody panicking, led to the police being called. And now these kids are in trouble, which of course they are. They're going to be charged because what they're doing is essentially, it's the equivalent of making a fake 911 call, right? I mean, you can't just put law enforcement in a position where they're going to come out on a whim like this.
Or causing panic in a public place.
And what the police said is that, A, they've been arrested, they're being charged, and they should be expelled. And this is definitely something that will hurt you if you're trying to go to college. This is definitely something that's going to hurt you if, for example, you're trying to play sports in college or anything along those lines. And you know what? Good. If you don't have the sense to know that this isn't funny when you're a teenager, you need a hard lesson. This is the time to learn a hard lesson. I don't care what the impact of the future of these kids is. They deserve it. They deserve whatever punishment comes and whatever responsibility comes along with that. And maybe you'll learn that causing panic and scaring the living hell out of people in a time where school shootings are common is not only a bad idea, but it's dangerous and it's criminal, and you get the consequences that come with that. You need a little bit of tough punishment here.
Sure, you should get second chances in life. I totally believe in that. Sometimes you should get third and fourth chances. And I do hope that ultimately these kids are productive members of society somehow down the road. But you've got to make this hurt for them. And I'm with you. Like, I don't care in the moment. You are old enough to know. And to think that it's funny now, it's just, I don't have a good word for it because it's so outrageously stupid. It's painfully dumb. I don't know how you could even possibly think that it was a good idea to do something like that. So if you get expelled from school, if you have a difficult time finding another school to take you, well, then no, that's a real shame. Now you got to be a little bit dumber for the rest of your life, because this is the kind of thing that if you were to tell somebody, well, let's say you're 30 years down the road and you're having a conversation about the dumb stuff you used to do in high school, and you're telling your friends, you know, your new work friends 30 years from now, like, oh yeah, this one time in high school, we drove around town and we took baseball bats to mailboxes. We did that. People with you are going to be like, that's kind of dumb. What's the matter with you? But if you tell them that we made it seem like there was an active school shooter and we all coordinated on it and then started to run and cause the panic, your 30 years from now, friends are going to look at you like you're the biggest dummy they've ever met, and they're going to want nothing to do with you. Like, even then, like, if somebody told me they did that 30 years ago, I'd be like, what? That's not even funny, you dummy. In fact, I think I kind of hate you now.
Yeah.
I don't think I like you anymore. I think I used to like you, but now I think I don't like you, even for something you did 3 decades ago. It is that stupid.
I don't want to hear about, well, they're kids and they made a mistake, because I guarantee you that's what their parents are going to say. Like, listen, he's a good kid. He just made a mistake. Fine. You pay for your mistake. And yeah, you get your second chance. But the only reason it's called a second chance is because you suffered consequences the first time. Right?
Yeah.
You got to deal with what you did. And sure, grow up and mature and prove that you're not this idiot. And you can have that second chance. Nobody's saying you're banished from society. Nobody's saying you shouldn't get to go to another school or go to college someday or get a job someday. But there have to be consequences, because in some cases, when it comes to, well, let's be honest, when it comes to something like murder, I'm not always sure that punishment really serves as a deterrent, because usually it's done either in a moment of extreme
passion,
emotional stress, or you're just a psycho and you're not going to care anyway.
Right.
I mean, if you're a serial killer, that's not a deterrent. You're just going to do it anyway because that's what you're driven to do. In this kind of case, though, this can be a deterrent for other high school kids and say, holy crap, they went to jail. Oh my God, they can't get into the college they want. I mean, like, real world consequences for regular kids that do stupid things can absolutely be a deterrent.
You hope.
And that's the idea.
You hope.
Redbird Report with John Rooney coming up next here on the show.
Have you heard the news?
I'm Megan Lynch. These are the stories making news.
Start your day with Total Information AM.
I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Debbie, Tom, and Megan bring you St. Louis's news.
What Missouri's new voting laws.
Traffic from Roger Brand.
Busy on the highways.
And the latest forecast.
Thank you with the meteorology scene DeVore.
At 8.
I'm Carol Daniel.
And I'm Tom Ackerman.
It's Total Information AM expanded with more news, interviews, and in-depth story coverage.
COVID boosters.
Total Information AM on 98.7 FM, 1120 AM, and the Odyssey app.
Buy today and save tomorrow with Lombardo Homes. Your dream home is within reach. Interest rates are on the rise, but home ownership is still affordable. In fact, Lombardo Homes will buy 2 points off your loan, bringing down your rate by as much as 0.75% when you sign your Lombardo Homes purchase agreement. This means lower monthly mortgage payments and more money for the things that matter. Restrictions apply. Please see sales manager for details. Visit LombardoHomes.com for community details, floor plans, pricing, and home site availability.
Ask yourself, what am I doing to guarantee I will have adequate inflation-hedged income that I may never outlive? Why not make sure your future income is growing and may last as long as you do? Call for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233. And also join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio.
If you're planning to sell your St. Louis area home, now may be the best time to capture the highest sale value before the market changes. This is Debbie Monterey, and according to industry experts, the real estate market has shifted. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty agrees, and she has options to help every type of home seller because she understands that every situation is different. If you need to sell your home quickly, but you're worried about finding your next home, Gloria has your answers and solutions. Gloria has an instant cash offer program that gives you above market cash offers, no showings, no hassles, and you pick the closing date even up to a year, giving you the cash and time needed to find your next home. Call Gloria Liu and ask her about the instant cash offer guarantees or other options that will help you sell fast and for the most money. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
At 12:30, it's sunny and 81 degrees downtown at the Arch. The Biden administration is stepping in to help with contract talks between railroads and unions. There's a push to find an agreement before the railway workers go on strike, and that could possibly happen as soon as Friday. Jason Miller, Department Chair of Supply Chain Management at Michigan State University, explains how this could impact the economy.
It will be debilitating if it goes on for, let's say, more than a week. So, for example, the auto sector, which has been dealing so much with the semiconductor shortage, seems to be starting to get back on its feet a little bit more based on the production data we're seeing. The auto plants will come to a grinding halt because a lot of their inputs come in by rail.
Could the end of the pandemic be in sight? CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The number of newly reported cases has dropped dramatically, and deaths are the lowest since 2020. World Health Organization Chief Tedros Ghebreyesus says we have never been in a better position to end the pandemic.
We're not there yet, but the end is in sight.
Still, he warned the numbers could be deceptive because so many countries have cut back on testing.
The KMOX Dollars and Cents show host says there was whispering among those who drive the stock market that inflation could fall below 8%. When Tuesday's rate was 8.3%, the Dow fell more than 1,200 points. Dave Simon says,
inflation is hot, and it's going to stay hot.
and the Fed is going to stay aggressive. And next week, they will meet again, and you can bank on it. They will raise interest rates at least 0.75% once again.
We've got debris on 55 South before Imperial, Maine. The center lanes are closed. Debris on 270 South at 6440. The right lane's blocked. A crash on Hanley at St. Charles Rock Road. That's in the intersection. Weather sponsored by Farm and Home Supply. High today of 85. Low tonight 63. Tomorrow not humid with a high of 86. Right now downtown at the Arch, the sun's shining. It's 81 degrees. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hunting season is here. Save on dozens of hunting essentials with Farm and Home Supply's Digital Hunting Showcase ad. It's live now through Monday, September 26th. Stop in to browse our selection of hunting blinds, chairs, targets, trail cameras, decoys, and more. Don't forget about meat processing. We carry a huge selection of LEM products. View the ad right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Manor Grove has been caring for seniors for over a century. Everyone at Manor Grove is treated like family, and that's exactly how our residents should feel, like family. Our staff strives to make Manor Grove feel like home. Be assured, your loved one will be well taken care of at Manor Grove. The entire Manor Grove team views everyone inside as family and looks forward to seeing residents and coworkers every day. See for yourself at manorgrove.com and take our virtual tour. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
Enjoy a better way to buy pre-owned at Bomarito. Shop thousands of vehicles at our 20 locations. Every make, every model, every price range. See it today. Drive it today. Buying 100% online. Use the Bomarito Fast Pass. Then count on Bomarito for service after the sale. A better experience, a better price for pre-owned. Go with the automotive leader. Bomarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at Bomarito.com.
Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX, sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and if you're a Missourian, we're for you. April 9th, 2001.
Swing and a home run to left. The first Major League home run for Albert Pujols.
Now,
Pujols swings and lifts a high fly ball. It's a gunner for Pujols.
The pursuit for 700 continues.
Home run, 6, 9, 7.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
The pitch by Waino. Albert is hit high and deep. A home run for Harrison Bader. Yadier Molina has homered. Double play. It's a big fly for Albert Pujols. A home run in the first inning for Goldie.
This is the Redbirds Report.
12:35 on a Wednesday, time for our regular visit with John Rooney. How you doing today, John?
Doing all right, guys. Everything's good.
You know, we got a team that's been playing well, that's in first place. We've talked a lot about all the fun stuff, and we're going to get one piece of history tonight with Yadi and Waino, and on any given night now, we could get another one with Albert, depending on how things go.
Well, if they hang a pitch to Albert, he's going to air it out. We found that out when he came into spring training, trying to move up the ladder and to get to 697. We thought, well, you never know. 700, that's really a reach.
Yeah.
But it's not out of reach right now, and that's the great thing about it. He's stinging the ball the way he did in the spring, and he just has new life. It's just unbelievable how he's doing so well.
What do you think is behind it?
I think it's preparation. I think that's what's behind it. And the fact that he can do it. He keeps himself in good condition where he can go out there and take that preparation and what he has as far as a game plan against a pitcher. And I think that home run he hit at Wrigley Field, that he hit off Smiley where the pitch was chin high. He told Stubby Clapp after he hit a base hit off the left field wall, the first at bat, that if I can get that over just a little bbit to left center field, I can get it out of here in the bleachers, even with the wind blowing in. And 2 at bats later, that's exactly what he did. And that was the only run in the game.
Yeah. And although I know I'm not going to get too nerdy on this, although it is my tendency to go that route, but He's hitting the ball harder this year. John, he's hitting the ball harder this year than he has since the StatCast era came in 2015. His average exit velo's up, all that. He's as good as he's been.
He is, and it reminds me of Albert like in 2011, the last year he was with the Cardinals before going to the Angels. He had a 3-home run game in the World Series. You don't put anything past what he can do. And that flare he hit to right field for a base hit driving in a run last night.
Yeah.
He took what the pitcher gave him and picked up another RBI.
It is incredible to watch what he's doing in all these years, John, going back to 2005 when when one caught the other for the very first time, even though they didn't start starting games until much later. You've got Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina that going to break that record tonight. And this has been a long time coming, and we have been talking all day and really all week about how impressive this streak is given modern baseball and how players change teams so often.
Well, and the premium on catchers, trying to find a catcher that's going to hang with an organization that long. You just don't see it coming. It probably will at some point, but I can't envision anyone catching all that long, like Buster Posey retiring from San Francisco, how he was there for a long time with their staff. But pitchers come, pitchers go. So do catchers. And what Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright will accomplish tonight in passing Bill Freehan and the Detroit Tiger lefty, Mickey Lolich. That record has been standing since the mid-'70s, as that went from the 60s into the 70s. And now here in 2022, we have Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina passing a mark that I'm not sure that will ever be broken.
No, I think it's a really good point, John, for a lot of reasons. I mean, one, it's hard to stay healthy for that long and keep them together for that long. And we mentioned this, I'm sure you'll agree. I think part of this, too, is that the team has never gone through the rebuild where they trade away veterans to get young guys. So you have the incentive to keep them when it comes time for contracting extensions along those lines. Most teams don't operate that way. They don't have 20-year windows of contention.
No, they don't. And if some teams sign a free agent for 25, 30 million or more, chances are they're going to be cutting in other areas, and somebody might be a catcher who is a pretty good catcher, maybe not a good bat, but some guy who handles a pitching staff really well. Well, we can get somebody else here, a younger guy, and bring him along, and that's going to cut into a roster makeup as well. So no, I don't think this record will be broken. It's like DiMaggio's hitting streak, and it's like the Ironman record for Cal Ripken. Who's going to pop up and take those?
You know, John, the end of the baseball season, the regular season is 3 weeks from today. And with that amount of time to go, the Cardinals with a 7-game lead here, it's still pretty comfortable at the moment. As you look back on the season, we were talking about how fun this regular season has been because of all the positive things that have been happening. What's been the most fun thing for you?
Well, I think the most fun thing is what Albert's doing right now. And then what happened at the trade deadline with the way the starting pitching lined up. And Jordan Montgomery, they lost a start that Montgomery had last night for the first time since he joined the club from the Yankees. And Quintana has been a big help. Stratton going to the bullpen, putting Palante back in the bullpen and starting to line things up. And there's still time to get that lined up and kicked in again. And I still kind of take a look at what could happen if a Steven Matz is available at some point. But using the players they have right now, there's still time to line all of that up and against really good competition as they have the games against San Diego and Los Angeles on the road and Milwaukee. Those are all playoff caliber teams. LA, of course, will have a division wrapped up. San Diego's playing for a wild card right along with Milwaukee chasing San Diego and Philadelphia right now. So it's going to make things very interesting. It might get tighter before it's all decided. I remember in 2005 with the White Sox, it got down to just less than a handful of games. And then Ozzie Guillen took on the personality that Ozzie has, taking all the heat off his players, and that seemed to work to get them over the top. But I still think there's time. It could get a lot more interesting, but I see the Cardinals winning the division. And if they can split with Milwaukee in the 4 games, now 3 games left, win tonight, split the 2 in Milwaukee, that leaves Milwaukee right basically where they are at the start of the series. So It's becoming all a counting game now, eliminating days, eliminating games off the schedule.
100%. I know another thing that's been impressive this year to me, John, is the work that Ollie Marmol has done in his first year as a big league manager. A lot of things have gone right? You've got two guys competing for an MVP spot with Goldie and Arenado. You've had great pitching again from Adam Wainwright and Miles Mikolas, of course. But they've had to do a lot of mixing and matching because of injuries with O'Neill and Bader before he was traded, with some performance-related issues with other guys. And I feel like when he's pushing buttons, you're never going to be 100%, but he has pushed a lot of the right buttons over the course of the year.
He has, and some things have fallen in place, like Corey Dickerson with the best batting average since the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
Things have clicked back in for him where I didn't know if he'd make it through the end of the season wearing the birds on the bat. And O'Neill having to move from left to center field, but keeping him healthy now is a major key, I think, down the road. And what's happened with the injured list and how he's had to maneuver one player here, one player there, Paul DeYoung having to go back to the minor leagues.
Yep.
And he's stinging the ball a little bit better in recent games. And they're going to need help from everybody on the roster. And that's something Oliver's done. He's used everybody. Taking a look at what San Francisco did last year to win, 108 games. They were able to use everybody. They could do a platoon situation. If a left-handed pitcher comes in, boom, there's a right-handed pinch hitter. And it didn't matter what time of the game. If it was the right moment, that's what the Giants did. They made the right move, and that's exactly what Oliver has done. But with Nootbaar and the other guys starting to perform better after the All-Star break, that gave him the opportunity to use those places on the roster to improve this team, and this team got better and better.
I know it's been a source of irritation for teams that have had to play the Cardinals over the years, and really the fan bases of those teams that have had to play the Cardinals, that it always seems like whatever they do, however the roster turns over, there's always a guy. There's always somebody that is contributing, and it's somebody that nobody has any idea who they are, whether it's Nootbaar or Donovan, or it's just a never-ending cycle of contributing players. What do you think is behind that? Is it process? Is it luck? What are we talking about here?
Well, it's scouting, drafting, and development. That's what it all goes into, and having a really good development staff. And the Cardinals recently lost Mark DeJong when he retired, but they have other people that DeJong had been working with over the years, and they have Gary LaRocque heading up that minor league system. And with what Randy Flores has done and maneuvering the draft, John Booch has been a major contributor. All those guys in the baseball office, they're steady. They've been under John Mozeliak, and they've worked really well together as a team. But they have a good idea of the kind of player, the kind of personality they want to draft. And we see those guys get to the big leagues so often. You figure out of a draft, if you get a couple of guys that make it to the big league level and contribute. But I think the Cardinals have a little better track record than that. And they've been able to reach down into the lower rounds of the draft as the draft moved on and get some players who could come on and really help them. But having a good, solid minor league system with drafting and then developing has been a big key to the Cardinals' success.
That's how you do it for as long as they've been doing it, and that's why we have records like we're going to see broken tonight with Yadi and Waino. You just keep on churning players out, and that's how you keep yourself in these positions. John, thank you. We love having you every single week. Look forward to next week. In fact, we'll look forward to seeing you tonight. It's KMOX night at the ballpark, and maybe I'll come up in the booth and wave at you guys.
Yeah, we heard
you talk too much. It's too loud.
We heard you're going to be honoring us.
Well, we honor you every day, guys. That's what we do. We pay homage. Right before we go on the air, we bow our head and pay homage to the show.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great stuff. We love you, John. We'll see you tonight.
All right, we'll see you tonight.
You got it. John Rooney with us for the Redbird Report, and, of course, Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. It is KMOX night at the ballpark tonight, and, of course, the Cardinals and the Brewers going at it. Got a tough one tonight. Corbin Burnes starting for Milwaukee. No easy task there, but, of course, Adam Wainwright starting for the Cardinals should be a lot of fun tonight. 6:45 first pitch.
You like magic? I know you do. Do you like magic numbers?
Sure.
What's the magic number now?
I don't know.
14.
Nice.
The Cardinals' magic number is 14.
Hopefully that goes down tonight. Hey,
3 weeks to go.
So next topic is going to be about some awareness. When you're choosing to participate in an event, you can't really complain when you get exactly what you should have expected. I'll explain what I mean when we come back.
If
your house sits on a double lot and you're interested in selling it instead of mowing the extra ground, we're interested in buying it. We've been buying a lot of infill lots throughout the greater St. Louis area, and we're even buying raw ground. So if you have any land you're interested in selling, whether it's a vacant lot, raw ground, or house on a double lot, we're interested in buying it. We'll even subdivide it ourselves. Please reach out. KlaymanGroup.com. KLAMEN Group.com. 314-946-9999. 314-946-9999.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Join us in Forest Park, September 16th and 17th, to celebrate the 50th annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Visit GreatForestParkBalloonRace.com for a sneak peek at the beautiful balloon set to take flight, plus event details and directions. Sponsored by Blue Moon and Miller Lite, Drury Hotels, Martini and Rossi, Go Magazine, and the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Lance Drury Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today and it's all no charge. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Get started with the Vision Walk today and form your Vision Walk team to raise money for a cure. For more information, go to visionwalk.org or call 314-852-7223.
Hi, it's Debbie Monterey, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
We are all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. September is World Ozone Month, so it's a great month to get rid of all your aerosol sprays and harsh cleaning products. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Kevin, Amy, and Chris now.
Best friends together.
Dave Glover at 2 on KMOX.
Rod, you like a little Motley Crue or nah?
I do not mind Motley Crue.
The music, I mean, obviously they're weirdos, but
well, yeah, that's what I meant. They seem like you could have some fun with them.
I guess it would depend on your definition of fun, right? Everybody's got their own definition. But the theme here, okay, before I read the story, and before I explain why we played Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue to start off, the theme here is when you're attending an event, you should probably know something about it before going if you have concerns about whether or not you should bring your children. Right? Would you say? So, as an example, if you're thinking about taking your kids to an R-rated movie, maybe you should look into what they might be exposed to in that movie.
Well, there's an R there, so.
Right, but I mean, it's for different things. Sometimes it's language, sometimes it's violence, sometimes it's nudity. And everybody's got their own standards about what they're okay with and what they're not. So you probably, but it's on you as a parent to know that, correct?
Oh, I mean, I would think so.
If you're going to take your kid to see Dave Chappelle, should you not really understand? Shouldn't you understand what you're maybe getting into there?
Sure.
You should probably know you're going to hear curse words, right? You're going to hear some off-color things. You're going to hear some stuff that is on the line and sometimes crosses the line, right?
Sure.
You should know this as a parent.
What about Andrew Dice Clay?
Well, he's done now, but back in the day, you would have probably wanted to know that. So Motley Crue played at the Giant Stadium last Wednesday, and Motley Crue did Motley Crue things. This is what they've been doing for 40 years. They asked the crowd to flash the stage. So obviously, a lot of the women in attendance, they obliged. Some of the men did too. And it's kind of a running joke on this tour because Tommy Lee, the drummer, he posted his junk on Instagram.
Oh.
And asked people for their opinions. And he did this recently. And it's a big scandal. And it raised a lot of questions like, why wasn't it taken down? All legitimate questions. And by the way, this is pretty moronic behavior. Like, I would agree it's stupid. I would agree that it's a bad idea. I don't think these guys are very bright. Certainly not Tommy Lee. But you went to a Motley Crue concert. Did you not expect it to be raunchy? Do you not listen to their lyrics? Do you not know what they've been known for the last 40 years? As a parent myself, I wouldn't take 11-year-old boys to a Motley Crue concert. And I'm not prudish about stuff. I didn't worry about a lot of these things with my own kid. It would, but if I was worried about it, I would be like, Motley Crue, what are they all about? What are they known for? The thing they're known for, aside from some of their songs, is they were the craziest of the crazy people during one of the craziest eras of partying in the rock world.
Okay, but now they're 60.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah, but okay, so, all right. Like, that's, I get it, Kevin, but you would think that you could take your kids to a Motley Crue concert of 60-year-old men who are performing these songs and not expect to see a bunch of D's. You know what I mean?
A bunch of what?
Come on.
I thought you said these.
No, D's.
Oh, D's.
Yeah, I would expect to go to a show, be like, hey, this is what your dad listened to when he was younger. And I would think that like, okay, they're going to come and play their hits. One of them's probably going to be sitting on a bar stool because he's tired. I wouldn't think they'd be inviting the crowd to get their D's out and start showing them to people.
I mean, again, it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
It raises a lot of questions about like local law enforcement. Are you going to get in trouble? Like all that, right? Public indecency, public exposure. It's not a good thing. But this has been happening on this tour in different spots. And again, if you're a parent, it is your job to know what you're taking your kids to. It's not their job. You can't be like, I'm shocked that Motley Crue was Motley Crue. You know, like,
I don't know, man.
Hey, you see that tiger over there? I want to go pet him.
Well,
and then when he bites you, you're like, it's a tiger. Of course it bit you.
I mean, I would expect that I'd go to the show and I'd be like, okay, these guys were really wild back in my day, but Mick Mars is 75 years old right now and he's got glaucoma. This guy's not 75. This guy's not. He's not going to be falling off the stage hammered, and he's not going to be pulling his junk out. Like, I would expect that there's a little bit of a toning down.
He is actually 71, by the way.
Is it? See? So I wasn't too far off.
He's the oldest of the group. They were all much younger than him.
Nicky's 6 right now. He's got high blood pressure. So you're not going to have to worry about anything like too over the top. These dudes aren't 25 anymore.
Right, but are you not keeping up with current events? Because, again, I don't condone the behavior. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It was ridiculous 40 years ago. It's even more ridiculous now. But you also, again, as a parent, it's your responsibility. You're going to take your kids to see one of the Jackass movies. You should probably know what you're going to see.
Yeah.
You should probably understand that. And again, I understand having a problem with it. So don't take your kids to Motley Crue.
I don't know.
I mean,
There's an expectation now that Nikki Sixx has mesothelioma, that he's not going to be.
He does not have that.
He's going to participate in the kind of behavior he did in the 80s.
He does not have that. And in case you haven't noticed, Ranj, the dudes in the rock world, they don't tend to grow up. They tend to stay the same until they're just not with us anymore.
Until they start wheezing.
Suburban Leisure Center has Adirondack chairs in stock and on sale now. Our amazing Adirondack chairs come in 16 colors and in lots of styles. Gliders, rockers, tables, and chairs. We even make an Adirondack chair with a pull-out ottoman. Also, many can be made to order. Hurry into Suburban Leisure Center now on Olive, 1 mile west of 141, or check us out at suburbanleisurecenter.com, home of the Big Red Chair.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
You saw people you haven't seen in a while.
You went places you haven't been in a while.
And you accumulated new and different junk.
You came home and you said,
"Where are we going to put all this?"
Relax. We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
No lifting.
No carrying.
No banging and bumping into walls.
Just a beautiful wide open space full of happiness and sunlight.
You'll have room to roam.
To breathe again.
You've never felt so free.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
I'm sure that you've felt the shift in the real estate market and have wondered how it will affect you. Is it time to buy or is it time to sell? What are your options? Hi, I'm Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Give us a call and we can discuss a strategy that works for your individual needs in this ever-changing market. Quality and experience at a more affordable rate. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444. 314-441-4444.
Free Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri. We're for kayakers, trail hikers, wine tasters, cave divers, grocery baggers, car dealers, and the man who plays saxophone outside the coffee shop. We're for the 100,000 fans that taught the nation how to tailgate, and the Division II national champion mules. We're for cowboys, hipsters, lead singers, and everyone else who likes to wear tight jeans. We're for the guy in a camo hat at a Nelly concert. We're for Rolla engineers and weekend volunteers. Armed service members, you bet we're for you. We're for teachers, preachers, students, and singers. We're for anyone who ends their address with a comma and a mo. We're for people who shake your hand and say hello, not because they know you, but because they don't. We're for contractors, road pavers, ticket takers, and horse trainers. We're for brewmasters, stockbrokers, beauty queens, and truck drivers. And if you're a fourth-generation soybean grower, don't worry. We're still for farmers, too. Whatever you do, if you're a Missourian, we're for you. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, it's sunny and 83 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour, an update on the Amber Alert issued overnight for the reported abduction at Ferguson Middle School Monday afternoon. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says the vehicle that 12-year-old Natonia Holmes was last seen being guided into, a blue minivan, has been located, but the child and suspects are still missing. More on them at KMOX.com. Mayor Tashara Jones has publicly called out St. Louis police to release body cam video of 2 fatal police shootings, and we have an update today from police.
16-year-old Darrell Ross was shot and killed by undercover officers. And on Monday, when KMOX asked Public Safety Director Dan Isom if the video would be released,
undercover officers don't wear body-worn cameras.
Today, police say there is non-police video of the shooting. Sergeant Charles Wall says the department releases video in accordance with the Sunshine Law.
We are in contact with the mayor's staff, and if they
decide to do something different, that's their prerogative.
Wall says the police department is also in contact with the Ross family and that the department typically allows families to view unreleased footage. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Nearly 5,000 members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, District 19, voted to reject a tentative agreement with railroads. It comes amid concerns of a possible freight rail strike Friday. 3 other unions continue to bargain. The strike could disrupt the nation's supply chain. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has made a rare foray inside or outside Ukraine's capital and highlighted Moscow's embarrassing retreat from a Ukrainian counteroffensive. Hand on heart, Ukrainian President Zelensky watched his country's flag rise above a recaptured city today. NASA set a new date to launch its new moon rocket.
Says its Artemis rocket will be ready for launch September 27th. But if things don't go as planned, a backup date could also be set for October 2nd. Engineers are still working on an issue with the rocket called the Space Launch System, or SLS, which sprung a leak as it was getting fueled up with liquid hydrogen earlier this month. NASA was forced to scrub its first 2 launch attempts. If all goes well this time around, testing can officially begin. Artemis aims to get humans back on the moon by 2025. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, a new survey by Bankrate.com, finds a majority of working Americans, 55%, say their income has not kept up with the increase in household expenses due to inflation. Just a third say their income has kept up or exceeded the increase. Chief Financial Analyst Greg McBride.
40% of workers say they've gotten a pay raise in the past year. 13% secured a better paying job, and 8% got both a better pay raise and a better paying job. Unfortunately, only a third of working Americans can say that their pay has kept up with inflation. And even among those that got pay raises, half said it wasn't enough to offset the increase in household expenses.
The Dow from Stifel's down 79 points to 31,024. We've got a crash on 364 East past Maryland Heights Expressway. 3 left lanes closed. Debris on 55 South before Imperial, Maine. The center lanes are closed. 270 South, debris at 6440, right lane closed.
KMOX AccuWeather, it's going to be nice and warm with sunshine, temperatures up in the mid-80s, and then we're going to warm into the mid to upper 80s to near 90 as we get towards the weekend, but it should be dry and nice for the Great Forest Park Balloon Race as we get ready for it Friday night and the race on Saturday. With AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Dean DeVore on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Farm and Home Supply. Sunny 83 in Florissant, 85 in St. Peters, 83 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Don't miss Farm and Home Supplies Fall into Savings event. One day only. Saturday, September 17th. Save on items inside the 2-page flyer. Like $25 off men and women's Wolverine boots. Or get a free $25 Farm and Home Supply gift card with a purchase of an Echo trimmer, blower, or chainsaw. View the ad online right now at farmandhomesupply.com.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
All right, 104 on the show. Chris Raji and Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy on vacation. She'll be back next week. You can reach us and jump in on the conversation anytime you want. 314-436-7900. Voicemail's always welcome. 314-944-1120. You can follow us on Twitter at the show KMOX. All right, Ron, real quick. We got one text related to the Motley Crue thing. We're going to move on to that real fast. And then we're going to get into a government corruption story that involves Brett Favre. But we'll get to that in a second. We got a text. I did not notice this at the time, but in retrospect, we did not plan this, but Krabby Rod texted in and said, "Oh, how appropriate. A Got Junk commercial followed Motley Crue discussion."
Yeah, that sounds right.
That was pretty good. I wish I had planned that because I'd feel like
just
I was really
say
smart.
that you did.
I did. No.
Just say that we thought ahead.
I wish, but that was perfectly appropriate. Thank you, Krabby Rod. We appreciate you.
Because that's what they're doing at Motley Crue shows, even though they're all 70 years old.
Well, one of the, and yes, exactly. Old guys being weird. Somewhat related, not quite, not to the flashing side of things, but to like somebody maybe exercising poor judgment. Somebody, by the way, of a similar age to those guys. Have you been following the story out of Mississippi? The story out of Mississippi where there's a lot of buzz about the governor and other state officials using their welfare fund to pay for other things. So, for example, they used the welfare fund to pay Brett Favre to do PSAs and some appearances and I guess he never even did the appearances, but he did pay the money back once the story came out that he took welfare money to do these things, right? The story came out, hey, they paid that money to him for out of the state's welfare fund. And he said, all right, that's bad. I didn't know that. Here's the money back. And it turns out we also find out that he, in concert with the governor, Governor Bryant at the time, they used $5 million from the welfare fund to pay for a new volleyball court at Southern Miss, which is Brett Favre's alma mater, and also where Brett Favre's daughter goes to school.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they built a new volleyball court using state welfare funds. And obviously this is a bit of a scandal. People are upset because, as you might know, Mississippi is one of the poorest states in the country. They also happen to reject 90% of the welfare claims they receive. So here's a state with a large amount of money that is set aside for welfare to help poor people. They are turning down that help. They are not giving it to them in one of the poorest states in the country. And they're funneling that money to a guy who earned $140 million as an NFL player in his career and to a state university for a volleyball court because it would help Brett Favre. Now, what Brett Favre said at the time, Ranj, was he didn't know this was from the welfare fund. And as soon as he found out, he gave the money back that they gave him. Turns out that might not have been the whole truth. Because as this investigation continues, we find more and more. And there's a story today from MississippiToday.org that shows that Brett Favre was a part of a text exchange with someone named Nancy New, who worked with the government or with the governor. And here's what Brett Favre asked Nancy New via text. If you were to pay me, is there any way the media can find out where it came from and how much? Now, it doesn't directly say that he knew it was coming from the welfare fund. But what it does tell us is it was at least certain that if somebody found out, that would probably be a bad thing for him. And yet he did it anyway.
Well, I'm not sure how else to read that, because if you felt like the money was legitimately coming toward you and there was nothing to feel guilty about, that doesn't seem to be the kind of question you would ask. So maybe it's totally possible. I have to concede that it is totally possible that it was all innocent as far as he was concerned and he was just asking questions. My guess is, though, that's not the case. That he did feel at least like, hey, this could look bad, or I might feel a little bit guilty because maybe we shouldn't be taking money out of the pot that goes to poor people. For a state that is underfunded, one of the worst educated states in the entire country, one of the poorest educational systems, and as you've mentioned, really bad when it comes to a safety net for the poorest of the poor. They are a lousy state when it comes to that stuff. And I would think he knows all these things, and knowing all those things, having the feeling that the money you're getting should be directed toward the things that we're talking about right now, there's probably a little bit of guilt there. Again, I'm only speculating because I don't know exactly what was in his heart or exactly what he was referring to, but it wouldn't make sense to ask that question otherwise. By the way, Jeff Pearlman wrote a book about him, the book Gunslinger, which came out years ago, and it's about him. And Pearlman just recently went to Twitter and he said about the revelations about Favre, he says, I want to share something. I wrote a biography of the man that was largely glowing. Football heroics, overcoming obstacles, practical joker, etc. Yes, it included his grossness, addictions, treatment of women, but it was fairly positive. And looking at it now, if I'm being brutally honest, I'd advise people not to read it. He's a bad guy.
Yeah, and now here's the thing. Brett Favre is the big name in this. He's the celebrity. He's the Hall of Fame football player, and certainly his part in this is despicable. But the bigger story here is statewide corruption.
Yes.
The bigger story here is the governor and his wife and their friends using nonprofits to steer this money to things that were, quote, outside of public view, according to Mississippi Today. So this is a newspaper investigation. And what they found was, and I mentioned this woman, Nancy New, that's who Brett Favre was texting about this. Nancy New is a friend of Governor Bryant's wife. Nancy New, this is a direct quote from Mississippi Today. Nancy New ran a nonprofit that was, quote, in charge of spending tens of millions of flexible federal welfare dollars outside of public view. And according to this, nonprofit leaders had misspent at least $77 million in funds that were supposed to help the needy. This is the real story.
Mm-hmm.
This is widespread state government corruption, taking money that should be for the poor, for kids that need food, for kids that need clothing, for kids that need help with their educational expenses. This is supposed to help the poorest of the poor, and it's being steered towards pet projects of wealthy people. That's the story. Again, Brett Favre's going to get all the attention, and he deserves whatever negativity he gets.
Well, he should still know better. He's an adult.
100%. But this is about friends of the governor and his wife running nonprofits that are using welfare money in ways that are inappropriate and keeping that from public view so nobody knows what's going on.
You'd have to convince me that at least part of this is not about how some people, and I think too many people, but how some people have disdain and resentment toward people who are poor and who are needy and who require help from the government, special assistance, whatever. And I don't understand that resentment. I'm not exactly sure how the average person could feel that way, but I think there are a lot of people who are in government and probably in Mississippi who feel that way toward the poor in their state. They feel like they're a drain on our resources, and really the drain on the resources is you. I mean, you're just mishandling the funds you do get. And it's not because people in your state are poor.
Would you like to know which state has the highest poverty rate in the country?
I'm guessing Mississippi.
It's Mississippi.
Yeah.
You think maybe that is because, partly anyway, it's not entirely, but partly it's because money that's supposed to help poor people
doesn't
going
go to them,
build a
probably.
stupid volleyball stadium.
I'm sure of it.
Because it's where Brett Favre's
I'm sure that's part of it.
daughter goes to Southern Miss.
Yeah, I'm sure that's part of it.
I mean, and by the way, you know whose name was supposed to be on that? The governor.
Yeah, well,
pretty good. Put the governor's name on a $5 million building using money that's supposed to be going to welfare to help poor people.
Hey, Kevin.
So that it can be used as a favor to Brett Favre because his daughter plays volleyball at Southern Miss.
Buildings are forever until the floods come.
And again, I understand all of the criticism toward Favre, and he deserves every bit of it. But it's not that. This is a case of people misusing resources at the highest level. And this is the other, maybe the most galling part about it is blatantly and openly attempting to hide it from public view. If you're not doing anything wrong, you don't try to hide things, right? If what you're doing is appropriate and okay, then you just do it.
You wouldn't be asking, can the media find out? That's if you thought everything was fine, you would want the media to find out. I would think if it's everything's on the up and up, you would have no problem with it. And it's appalling from a state, and I know they're not the only state in the union, but it is something they seem to do routinely, where they will have federal funding for programs, for various programs, and they'll send it back to prove some kind of political point. I don't know what that point is, but they don't want assistance. Like they'll get it. Like there was a rental program for people who rent homes, and there was $130 million in it. And I think it was just last month, the governor there, Tate Reeves, just sent it back. Like, no, we're not going to take that. And it was helping people. Like what is that? If the federal government is giving you free money and it's helping people, you are abdicating your responsibility as an elected official to help the people in your state by giving the money back. It's free money. It's yours. Take it.
Yeah.
Do something with it. Help people out. But they do it to make a political point, which is stupid. Yeah, stupid.
Hey, you know what? It's really brave to make points off the poor. Really, really brave.
Oh, they love it.
How about this? We'll close on this. So the court filing says the evidence suggests that MDHS executives, including Governor Bryant, knew that Favre was seeking funds from the MDHS, which again is the welfare fund that we're talking about, to build a volleyball facility. They all knew what they were doing.
Also, Mississippi last year rejected $600 million in federal funding for Medicaid for people who need it the most. It's appalling.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough has just arrived? Today, Wednesday, September 14th, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain that spark in the bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that can produce powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. That's worth the trip alone, guys, trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free, worth $1,000. Call today, and it's all no charge. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
When you retire, you leave a lot behind. But the one thing you take with you, a tax bill. And did you know that income taxes could be your single largest expense in retirement? The good news is, Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group, they can show you how it's possible for you to pay less to Uncle Sam with the right tax planning. And as Steve explains, we'll all have to adjust to tax changes that have been made over the past few years.
We had the Trump tax cuts. Those are going to expire. They got rid of the stretch IRA. If we've got historically low rates for at least the next 2 to 3 years, why don't we take advantage of it?
To learn more about your taxes in retirement, mark your calendars for Wednesday, September 28th at 6 p.m. at St. Peter's Cultural Arts Center. And while it's complimentary, you do need to reserve your spot today. Call 636-230-8824. Visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
The All Financial Group is a financial services firm that offers a broad array of products and services, including life insurance and annuities. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Stop missing out on life because you can't hear well or properly. This is Debbie Monterey. Isn't it time you got your hearing checked with Dr. Colleen Bosler of the Audiology Center? Dr. Bosler has the top line of hearing aids. There truly is a solution for everyone. Dr. Bosler has a doctorate in audiology. She's the best. Your hearing is the window to the rest of your health. So get it checked today. St. Peter's Florissant in Creve Coeur, 636-441-7470, The Audiology Center, STL.com. The World Trade Center St. Louis is hosting its annual Growing Global Luncheon Friday, September 30th at the Ritz-Carlton in Clayton. With the successful launch of direct flights to Europe, Growing Global 2022 will explore international connectivity and the value and impact of connecting our community and businesses in a 21st century global economy. Registration and sponsorships are available at worldtradecenter-stl.com. Reserve your spot now and join us for Growing Global September 30th.
Here's a message from MSD Project Clear Know Your Zone. Heavy rains can result in flooding. If you're a homeowner, a business owner, or even a renter, MSD Project Clear wants to encourage you to protect your property from flooding by knowing your flood risk. Make the decision to protect your property. Remember, anywhere it can rain, it can flood. Visit knowyourzone.org to learn more about your individual flood risk. That's knowyourzone.org.
Have you been waiting for the perfect time to get your Missouri medical marijuana card? Today is the day at 420id.com. Dispensaries are open and inventory is in. 420id.com is a BBB accredited business with over 16,000 happy Missouri patients. If we can't approve you, you pay nothing at 420id.com. Open late every day until 9 p.m. Sign up for your Missouri medical marijuana card now at 420id.com and use promo code RADIO for $30 off today.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
Right, back in on the show. Chris Raji, Kevin Wheeler here. Amy Mark Scores is on vacation. I don't know why I said that.
Oh, is that
weird.
where she is?
I don't know why I said that weird.
You know, I
Mark
just now noticed she wasn't here.
Sure you did.
No.
We're just noting during the break that, Ron, you're just like the grumpiest old man.
What do you mean?
Like, have you ever seen the movie Grumpy Old Men?
I don't know.
You are Walter Matthau's character.
Nah, he seems cool.
He was funny, but he was just always.
I'm a big Jack Lemmon guy.
Yeah.
He was in that, right?
He was the other one.
All right.
There was one of the two grumpy old men.
Hey.
By the way, first one, hilarious. Second one, not good.
It's KMOX night at the ballpark tonight.
It is.
Cardinals.
We're going.
Cardinals, Brewers, we're going to be there, I think.
Yep.
And
Wayno Inyati breaking a record.
That's right. And one of our very own is throwing out the first pitch.
Lindsay Wright. She's in studio with us. Lindsay
Hey,
works with us.
Lindsay.
Yeah, hi,
Marketing,
guys.
promotions, sales. Is there anything that you're not tasked with at this point?
No, just depends on the day. We'll see what each day brings, right?
But we bring this up because you're throwing out the first pitch tonight.
I am.
Now, are you nervous?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big like public speaker, and
Uh-huh.
I feel like this is under that umbrella. So yeah, I'm starting to get a little terrified.
You don't
And
have
I'm
to
gonna hit Fredbird with the ball or knock out somebody important. So yeah.
Here's what, okay. You might actually do better to do something weird like that because you'll make Sports Center. People will remember you.
Yes.
You'll probably be on Barstool and every other outlet. That's what
the-
you want.
The worst case scenario is that you go viral.
Yeah, you want to be viral.
I become famous
Yes.
for
Yeah.
something silly.
Internet
I'm
famous.
down. Does
Right?
it make me money? I'm down.
It
Let's
could.
do this.
I mean,
All
it's
right.
2022.
I know.
We get paid to like people get paid to watch get people watching them playing video games.
I mean, if I'm a meme that gets shared, I should retire. I feel like
You
I've
could
hit
make it an
I've
NFT.
hit the ultimate.
One of two things happens if you become a meme. And there are only two options. You either
Lindsay's
become
like, I'm going to be a meme.
You either become extremely famous with wealth or it ruins your life. It's one of the two. So there's no other option. There's no in between. So either you're going to throw a nice first pitch and it'll be forgettable, nobody will remember, or you're going to do something bad and then you're going to be famous and rich, or
I mean, high risk, high reward, I guess.
That's it, right?
it is.
Go
That's
big.
exactly it. It's high risk, high reward.
If you're going to go big. We should point
Let's
out
do
though, you're a softball player.
I was, yeah.
So you've thrown many times. This is nothing new to you. This is just a larger crowd.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some years in between. So, I mean, I did practice yesterday.
Good.
I was sore.
Outside here?
I was sore, yes. Outside our office. Got some nice pointers from some of the park goers.
Park residents?
Park residents, yes. Had some good tips.
Did they?
Good tips. Very friendly. Cheered me on.
Like mechanics? Or like
Yeah,
psychological tips
like
to help you with the stress?
move my hips a certain way.
Oh.
Really get the follow through going.
I'm sure that was helpful.
Very helpful.
Good.
Very
How many
helpful.
people walked by you and were like, no, you're doing this all wrong. You're like, no, I played softball in college. Leave me alone.
After the first throw, I was getting tips.
Now, what
And
position did you play?
so I pitched up until.
Oh,
up
are you gonna
through
go
high school.
do the
underhand?
No.
You're not
never.
going to
Why
do
not?
the pitch?
No way.
You could do underhand fast pitch.
I mean, that's high risk, high reward.
That's
right
a good
there.
point.
There you
'cause
go.
You
There
also
you go.
might hit the guy who's catching and he wouldn't know how to read that.
Yeah,
Because it
I-
looks different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ball would fly over the
Throw him a
backstop.
rise ball.
I don't even know how to do that
Not-
anymore. My goal is to just make it to the mound, not trip and fall.
Good call.
And throw the ball to the
See, don't
to
think
the catcher.
if you think like that, you're going to trip and fall because
Yeah.
it's in your head. You're going to be left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot, left. Dang it. And then you're on the ground.
I know. I think I'm just gonna
Viral,
walk
though.
out there though.
Viral.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I'm gonna walk.
Now, I am trying. This is absolutely to make you feel more relaxed. This is not in any way
Yeah.
to like increase. the
Picture
pressure.
everybody naked.
No, that
Oh.
would make you more tense. I think that'd be weird, especially like 45,000 people. But even guys like that are former players, they're panicked when they're doing these things. Like nervous is normal. Like David Eckstein was playing catch in the tunnel before he went out there, literally right before he went out there. So it's normal to have that. But when you get out there, just let it rip.
All right.
If you try to be careful, that's when you're gonna mess up.
Okay.
I promise you, just let it rip.
You're
Right.
better off overthrowing or just underthrowing than throwing to the side. Like you don't want to miss wide.
Yeah, I
'Cause
would
if you
agree-
miss
I
wide-
agree
Well, if
with
you hit
that.
Fredbird, it will be funny.
Well, you might hit a camera person though too,
which would also be funny.
and you
Yeah.
don't want to break somebody else's camera.
Don't get the
No,
camera.
I'm sure there's a release I signed my life away on. So
Oh, I'm sure of that.
I'm fully expecting to pay for any damages.
When did
if
you
anything happens.
did you volunteer for this, or did they tell you you're doing it?
So I kind of just said I'm doing it, basically.
Nice.
So
Oh, okay. You took the challenge.
I did. I figured, you know what? When am I going to get to do this? So I helped set up KMOX Day with the Cardinals personnel as it is. We always have a first pitch.
Mhm.
Talked to our lovely boss, Steve, and said, hey, who do you want to do this? He's like, I don't know. And then I said, well, you know what? I'm going to do it then.
Good.
So I essentially set up
There
the
you
first
go.
pitch for myself.
So then you do have the confidence to do this.
I did last week. No, we'll be good. We'll be good. No, I think it will be fine. I'm excited to get the chance.
Is the one worry that we can't really address, is it because it's the baseball and not a softball? Is that going to be weird?
No, I
No?
don't think so. In my mind right now, I'm seriously debating on, can I wear my flip-flops or do I have to wear
Oh, don't do
wear
that.
shoes?
Yeah, wear
That's
shoes.
what everyone has said, but I'm still doubting everyone's
It's not
answer.
100 degrees out. Just wear shoes. You're fine.
I know, but I practiced in the flip-flops. I feel confident.
Ah.
I feel
What are you
confident.
What are you most afraid of happening? Like, what would be the worst possible outcome here? Best outcome is you throw a strike. But what's the worst thing that you think might happen?
Well, if I'm in flip-flops, just slipping and falling.
Yeah.
No, that's why
Eating
you
it would
wear
be-
shoes.
Yeah.
Eating it would be the worst. Like even a wild throw, that's funny. Everybody laughs. Eating it would be like,
Yeah.
oh, no.
Okay, so enough about you.
Yeah.
You're the one who set up KMOX night,
Yeah.
right? So how are Kevin and I going to be honored?
What?
How will we be honored tonight at the
Before-
game?
How about before I throw, I'll like point to wherever you are.
Beauty.
Oh,
And
that's
we'll
great.
wave.
Yeah.
I'll give you like
And
a
we'll say
little-
that's for us.
Yeah.
Kevin.
I will. I'll give you a little like.
Oh, I'm in.
I don't know where you guys are going to be, so if you
Center
just see
field, I
me
think.
pointing.
Although at that time
that's
we
for
might be
you.
in the suite, so we'll see.
Okay.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Thanks for popping in.
Thanks for letting me.
Good luck.
Hang out and represent KMOX.
You got it.
Don't
And
blow it.
I hope
Don't-
I do.
Let it rip is what I'm telling you.
It'll
Make
be
us
great.
proud.
It'll be
That's
fun.
Lindsay Wright. She'll have the first
Thanks,
pitch
guys.
tonight for KMOX night.
Cheer
at the
for
ballpark.
Lindsay at the ball game.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
I'm here for Pioneer Brand Seeds, a block away from another ag company's corporate office. This company concentrates their breeders here in one centralized location. That's not how Pioneer works. Our breeders are located where their test plots are. That way, Pioneer corn breeders gain insights about what does and doesn't work for a local geography in real time. Ask your local Pioneer sales representative about field-proven Pioneer brand corn hybrids. And like our breeders, they're located near you.
Recession, inflation, rising interest rates. Wondering what today's economic challenges mean for you? Join Edelman Financial Engines on Tuesday, September 20th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new virtual event, The Economic Storm of 2022 and Your Wealth, a roundtable discussion hosted by best-selling author Gene Shatsky and featuring wealth planners from Edelman Financial Engines. You can register now at planefe.com. You'll get timely insights into today's market situation and learn steps to consider now. Are you making the right financial moves? What could you be doing differently? Don't miss this important virtual event. Join Edelman Financial Engines for The Economic Storm of 2022 and Your Wealth. Hosted by Gene Shatsky on Tuesday, September 20th at 2 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. There's no cost to attend and no obligation. Register now at planefe.com. That's planefe.com. Edelman Financial Engines. From here forward.
At 1:30, it's sunny and 84 degrees downtown at the Arch. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker issued an emergency disaster proclamation and activated approximately 75 members of the Illinois National Guard to ensure all state resources are available to support asylum seekers arriving nearly daily to Chicago from the state of Texas. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Governor Abbott doesn't see the humanity in any of these people, but we do. And we dare not lose sight of the fact that these are our brothers and sisters.
Striking nurses in Minnesota say their 3-day work stoppage, which winds down in the morning, is only round one of the war as they fight to have a better say in staffing levels and patient care. The Minnesota Nurses Association says it's fighting for language in their contract, which gives the entire nursing floor a say in essential decisions. Workers at the St. Charles Amazon Fulfillment Center plan to present management this morning with a list of demands. There's a petition with hundreds of worker signatures calling for higher pay and better safety conditions. We've got a crash on 364 East past Maryland Heights Expressway's got the right lane closed. A stall 270 north before Gravois on the right shoulder. Debris 55 south before Imperial, Maine. The center lane's closed. Weather sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. And this afternoon, high of about 85. Overnight clear, low 63. Plenty of sun, humid tomorrow with the high of 86. It's 84 degrees at the moment downtown at the Arch. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Guys, I have pizza advice for you. When you're at the grocery store next time, you want to to me, it's an essential thing with, this being a really big sports time of year, but it can be for, if you're watching your favorite show that you're streaming on a Saturday night or on a Friday night. But I like having good pizza around the house. So when I want it, it's there and I can just pop it in the oven and have it ready. And that's why I love Brew Pub Lots of Matzo Pizza, because it is the best of the pizzas that you're going to find in the frozen aisle at your grocery store. So you go out there and check it out. You're going to see all kinds of varieties. I know I mention all the time, my favorites are the Hawaiian pizza. Yes, I'm the weirdo that likes pineapple on his pizza. And also the bacon cheeseburger one. That one's just phenomenal. And they've got traditional plain cheese pizzas, 4-cheese pizza, the pepperoni, sausage. You don't have to go with anything fancy like the ones I like or the taco pizza, but you got tons of choices. And what you're going to see right away, what you're going to notice right away, is the clear packaging, the clear wrapping. You can see what you're going to eat. That is a half pound of award-winning Wisconsin mozzarella cheese on every pizza. You're going to see the toppings. They're not trying to hide anything. In fact, what they're doing is showing off. So when you're at the grocery store next time, go to that pizza aisle. You'll see what I'm talking about. Find the Brew Pub Lots of Matzo Pizza, and then stack up for your weekend.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. Fruits and vegetables are very environmentally friendly foods. Make them even more friendly by eating them in season. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Caring for residents for over a century, Manor Grove is committed to making everyone feel at home. Choosing a home for your loved one to reside is an important decision and shouldn't be taken lightly. Manor Grove makes your decision easy with medical professionals and staff who care for residents like family. If you are looking for a caring and quality nursing home and rehab facility, please visit our website, manorgrove.com, and take our virtual tour. Manor Grove, over a century of caring. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in your neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's premier James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home by calling Banner Construction 314-569-1050.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. Keep up with all things Cardinals with Cardinals Conversations. Hear pre- and post-game shows. The latest from the manager and the front office. How Albert's doing.
Home run, Albert Pujols.
The replays of Live by Lowe's and much more. Cardinals Conversations. Available now on the podcast page at KMOX.com.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
Court documents made public this week, independent counsel Kenneth Starr told a federal judge that Hillary Clinton is now a, quote, central figure in the Whitewater criminal probe. Reacting to the news, President Clinton called the investigation a partisan witch hunt, vowing, quote, if the First Lady is somehow convicted and has to go to jail, I will do everything in my power to wait 2 weeks to start dating. Real estate mogul Donald Trump announced this week that after 3.5 years of marriage, he is seeking a divorce from wife Marla Maples. According to Trump, Maples violated part of their marriage agreement when she decided to turn 30.
You know why I started to gain the weight? I told you.
I don't remember.
I'm up 45 pounds, and it was for a role in a movie.
What was the role for again?
It wasn't a particular role, but I figured they always need a big fat guy in a movie. Turns out they don't. They have plenty of fat guys that are much more experienced at acting and at being a fat guy than I am.
Oh my God. So Norm Macdonald giving it to everybody, which was the beauty of it, right? We're back in on the show. Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you, Amy on vacation. Norm is, I want to say is, but was like an all-timer. Like, and also I think one of the descriptions I've heard of him was like a comedian's comedian. Like the comedians loved him and laughed hysterically at him. Remember the roast where he was like bombing on purpose?
Oh, the Bob Saget roast. Because he said he didn't, he loved Bob so much that he didn't want to insult him.
He didn't want to be
on
mean,
stage in
right?
front of a bunch of people. So he went and found like these old jokes, old bad jokes. And I loved how it took several minutes for people to catch on to what he was doing.
Yeah, that he
and it was totally brilliant. Yeah.
And I can't believe it's been a year, Raj. That's why we played that. It was a year ago today that Norm Macdonald passed away. And what I loved about just everything about him, like first, his mannerisms are unique. His delivery was amazing. His timing was amazing. His jokes were brilliant. But it was also like he didn't give a crap.
No.
He would punch anyone, not literally, but with a joke.
And what was really funny about it, and I think people know by now, anybody who followed Norm Macdonald and his career, they know that he was let go from Saturday Night Live, from the Weekend Update, because he absolutely refused to stop making O.J. Simpson jokes.
Right.
And the head of NBC was close with O.J. and had told him, hey, you got to cool it on the O.J. stuff. And Norm totally refused to do it. And he kept on with it. And eventually they just said, okay, well, then you don't get to work here anymore. And I loved that he did not care about that there are very few comedians who are unafraid to fail. But it's like sometimes he was up on stage and his fellow comics will talk about this, that he would on purpose, like he would tell jokes that he knew were not going to do well because he wanted to get the reaction out of people. But also he was one of those people who could tell a joke that was bad, but the way in which he told it made it funny. And that's a really hard skill to master. And in fact, most comedians aren't able to do that.
I mean, they're a unique group of people. Like their skill set is usually hard earned. You know, they deal with a lot of stress and anxiety. A lot of them have, not everybody, but a lot of guys had difficult backgrounds, and they find a way to use that to their advantage. But I think what they do is, I mean, a lot of it is important because they can do and say things that other people can't.
Right.
And they can go a little further than other people can to make a point. And that's Norm. Like he was the guy that was able to go extra mean, but still get a laugh out of it.
Yeah. And I don't think everybody, I think it made some people uncomfortable, but after a period of time, you just kind of got who he was. So it was hard to not get comfortable with that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his sets were tremendous. You know, we talked about the OJ thing, and one of my favorite OJ jokes, and he just had all kinds of them. And it was after the verdict. There were a couple. First of all, OJ's acquitted in, was it 96 that happened or 97? I can't remember the exact year, but OJ gets acquitted of the double murder. And his joke was, it's official now. Murder is legal in the state of California, which was that's a funny joke, right? One of my favorites, though, was OJ was talking about whoever did it. And he said, Norm's joke was OJ Simpson vows never to rest until he finds the killer of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman. And then he shows a photo of OJ golfing, and he's hitting out of the sand wedge or something. And Norm's joke is, and so the manhunt continues, which I love that joke so much. But the fact that he would not let up on it, and when somebody told him, hey, you can't do this, and he's like, oh, I can't? Well, I'm just going to go harder now. And that's a really gutsy thing for a comedian to do, especially when you're trying to keep a career. You have a career. You've got a pretty nice position. You're on a Weekend Update segment on a very popular show. You don't want to lose that. So you might be willing to kind of alter how you do things, but it almost made him want to double down on his own comedy. And I absolutely appreciate somebody who was willing to do that. I loved Norm Macdonald, and that was one of the celebrity deaths over the last, 10 years that I think kind of hit me a little bit because I liked him so much. And it doesn't really happen like that for me. Usually if a celebrity dies, I kind of feel like, oh, that's a little sad. But
Yeah.
Norm hit me a little bit.
I'll tell you that if you haven't seen it, and if you know the joke I'm about to refer to, you're going to know what I'm talking about. You're probably going to laugh just because you think of it. But if you haven't seen Norm tell the moth joke,
oh yeah,
it is an all-timer because it I don't want to give any of it away because if you haven't seen it, you just need to see it. But you got to stick with it. This is a joke that takes some time. It's not a one-liner. It's not a quick zinger. It's a joke that takes a bunch of turns, and as he's going through, you're like, wait a minute, what is he doing here?
Yeah.
Did he just get lost in his thought? And then you're like, oh no, he brought it home at the end. It was all by design, and it is brilliant.
And it was
It's
also,
dumb, but it's brilliant.
And it was him on Conan O'Brien show.
Yep.
And he was, I think they were short a guest. Somebody was supposed to show up and didn't. So they had this time to fill. And Norm just went with that. Like that was not a planned thing. He didn't go onto the show to
tell this
to
joke,
tell
right?
that
Right.
joke. He just started going to fill however many minutes. It was like 5 or 6 minutes or something like that.
The
just
clip,
because
the clip online is 4 minutes long.
it's very long. And I considered playing some of that, but it's just too long.
No, you have to play the whole thing.
It is you have to, because that's part of the joke. I love jokes like that where you can keep somebody locked in and have them wondering, where are you going with this? Like, why is this joke taking 9 minutes? And then at the very end of it, you deliver the punchline. And he had another one about, I don't know, it might have been like a 10 years ago special where he's talking about a missing person, Janice, who's been kidnapped and murdered. Okay. And it's not funny.
Well,
but
the joke is.
The joke is really funny how he goes about telling it. And it's like a 10, 11-minute joke. And to be able to keep people's attention and have them laughing, and the payoff doesn't come for many, many minutes. Just an awesome thing. And that was, for me, I was kind of going through some Norm clips last night. And that's most of his joke telling.
Yeah.
Is either vulgar, stuff we can't use,
right,
or it's stuff that is very long. And the whole point of telling the long joke is to reel people in and hold them hostage and have them waiting for the punchline, which always ends up being amazing.
Yeah, definitely one of my all-time
favorite.
Yeah, right up there on the list. And I got a lot of all-time favorites, but he's on the list.
And he held his cancer diagnosis for 10 years.
It's crazy.
He had leukemia.
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm sure his closest friends did, but it was not out there.
And what's sad is he always used to make jokes like, I didn't know he was sick.
Yeah.
Like he would make those jokes all the time, and he was kind of talking about himself.
1 year ago today, we lost Norm Macdonald. Stick around. More of the show when we return here on KMOX.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
If you own a house in St. Louis and you want to sell it as is, without any inspections or the need to make any repairs, call Chris Buys Homes St. Louis at 314-328-8000 or at chrisbuyshomes.louis.com and get your cash offer without any obligations, commissions, banks, or headaches. Chris buys vacant houses, inherited houses, fixer-uppers, beautiful houses, even the tenant won't pay the rent apartment. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, and check out the best reviews from satisfied customers. When you sell to Chris, You decide when you want to move, according to your schedule and your terms. Go to chrisbuyshomesinstlouis.com. Google Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis or call 314-328-8000. That's 314-328-8000. Call Chris and get the offer you've been waiting for. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com. That's Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis.com or call 314-328-8000.
Join us in Forest Park, September 16th and 17th to celebrate the 50th annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Visit GreatForestParkBalloonRace.com for a sneak peek at the beautiful balloon set to take flight, plus event details and directions. Sponsored by Children's Hospital, Purina, Schnucks, Airly Foods, and the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Charlie Brennan sees clearly thanks to Dr. Bertie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
The eyes of the chess world are on St. Louis, the chess capital of the United States. The St. Louis Chess Club proudly hosts Champions Showdown, Chess 9LX, from September 13th to the 16th. 10 of the world's best grandmasters, including legendary world champion Garry Kasparov and St. Louis's own Fabiano Caruana and Levan Aronian. Rounds start 2 p.m. daily. Watch all the action live on uschesschamps.org.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Do you want to walk and stay healthy, but cannot because you are in pain?
I just had difficulty walking. I could not walk in bare feet at all.
Do you keep buying new shoes and inserts from the drugstore with little or no relief?
I tried all kinds of shoes. It was the arch supports that made the difference from the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet system fits in all your shoes. So come to the Good Feet store and become pain-free today.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Caddy Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Marilyn Facer recommends 3-day kitchen and bath.
Working with Dave was an absolute delight. Once everything was scheduled, everything went perfect.
Have you ever had a remodel done before?
About 25 years ago, and it was a nightmare.
Was 3-day kitchen and bath on time?
There was no delays. Everything was on time. All the deadlines were met. Everything came at once.
Would you recommend 3-day kitchen and bath to your friends and neighbors?
I highly recommend them to anybody.
Top quality products and craftsmanship in 3 days or less. Call 3-day kitchen and bath. Always on time as promised, at the price promised, and your job comes with complete satisfaction guarantee. No ifs, ands, or buts. Visit their website at 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-day kitchen and bath.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. We just celebrated our 35th year as a BMW dealer by finishing our multi-million-dollar renovation. So come see it. It's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Join the Foundation Fighting Blindness at the St. Louis Vision Walk on Saturday, October 1st at Creve Coeur Lake Park to help find cures to diseases that cause blindness. Visit visionwalk.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this.
The show on KMOX.
All right, so it's Cardinals and the Brewers tonight, 6:45 first pitch, KMOX night at the ballpark. Yadi and Waino on the mound, setting the record for the most starts ever by a battery at the major league level. Don't have the lineups yet, so we don't know for sure if Albert's in there. Tough matchup with Corbin Burns, so he may or may not be in the lineup for tonight. Hopefully they'll toss a left-hander out there at some point. He can pinch hit and hit a dinger.
Corbin Burns from L.A. Law.
Corbin Burnson.
Oh, different guy?
Also known as Roger Dorn.
Roger Dorn from Major League.
Yeah. No, that's not that guy.
I'm not going to deface this property. That guy?
Yes.
For a collection of stiffs?
That's exactly right.
All right.
Hey, one baseball thing that happened yesterday, and I figured we should follow up on it today because we got the BS. Well, I'm in trouble now, so I better say I'm sorry from Max Kellerman.
Oh, yes.
We played the clip of
did.
him yesterday. It not flat out accusing, but certainly insinuating that Albert's taking PEDs to hit all these home runs and to perform the way that he is. And he apologized for that last night. And I call BS on the apology. He got yelled at by somebody because they said, you can't do that. And he's like, yeah, you're right. I'll just say the apology thing so nobody gets mad at me, so nobody sues me or anything like that.
So you're saying you don't believe that Max Kellerman thinks he learned a lesson?
No, of course not, because he's paid to give the hottest of the hot takes. And basically what he did, there's a video of Albert highlights playing, and he's commenting over like, I wonder how somebody who's 40 can all of a sudden be better. I wonder how he's doing that. And of course, without actually understanding that, number one, he did this last year with the Dodgers. And what it simply was, and what it is this year, is the realization that playing every day actually is not good for him because of all the physical issues. So when he's playing less, he's more productive. When he's playing mostly against lefties and getting some select matchups against righties, it allows him to be more productive. That's really what the difference is between now and, say, his time with the Angels over the last few years. That, and he's healthy. He's not hurt right now. He hasn't been hurt all year, probably because he's not playing every day. So I think there's a really simple explanation for why somebody is doing things better than they were in recent years. They're healthier and they're being used properly as opposed to overused when fatigue can drag you down. But yeah, I've always hated that kind of insinuation of things where you don't have any evidence. You don't have anybody. There's no report saying this guy used this. You're just making this random observation because it's easy, and it's incredibly lazy to just go that route.
It's okay to wonder. It's okay if you're not sure about a player and you're like, I don't know about this guy.
Okay,
but it's a different
loud on ESPN.
It's a different thing to say it on a national program
or to say it on a radio show or whatever. It's one thing
because it's a natural thing. If a guy's performing better than what you're used to over the last few years, it's natural to wonder how that's happening. And one of the thoughts that might cross your mind is what we're talking about. But you can't just say it. And you can't speculate it, because from everything we know about Albert and everything you know now and everything that he said about hitting 700, not that he's not worried about it, but he's not worried about it. He said, I don't care if I'm at 698 or 699. This is my last year. Now, if 700 were that important to him, if it were so important that he would resort to PEDs to help himself get there, he would come back next year if he was one or two short to get to 700, hit it, and then call it a career. That's what he would do. He'd come back for one more month or 2 more months or whatever it is, break the record, and then say goodbye if it was that important to him. And it's not. So if it's not that important, it's certainly not important enough for him to take PEDs. He's just having a good time. He's relaxed. He's healthy, and he's being used properly. Those are the explanations. That's it.
Yeah. And again, it's no different than what he did with the Dodgers last year.
In limited time.
Yeah. Once you get into the place where you're being used properly. And it is something, by the way, this is why this kind of thing makes me angry. It's not about that it was Albert or that it's a Cardinals player or anything. What bothers me is that's the kind of stuff that's used to question all people that are covering sports. And in a bigger picture, that's the kind of thing that people do in TV news that gives everybody a bad name.
Yeah.
That's where the blame the media thing comes in, because jerks like this do dumb things that reflect on all of us. And even those of us that don't do those things then end up having to wear that. And it's that lack of responsibility that, and the thought in their minds that, hey, me being a jackass actually impacts other people too, because you're sowing doubt. You're making people think that everyone's like you because you're like you and you're on ESPN.
That's right.
And that's the part that personally for me irritates me, because you're being a jerk and you're absolutely you're absolutely BSing about someone's livelihood there. Like, Albert should be more angry about it than I am. But what irritates me is that undermines people in the profession. And what they do on MSNBC and what they do on Fox News undermines all of us. And I hate that so much.
Well, you have to separate. It's difficult to do, though, but you have to separate the talk shows on those networks from the anchors and reporters. And not every anchor and reporter on all the networks is good, but generally there is a division between the journalists on a network and the people who do the primetime talk. There's a difference. But I don't think people distinguish between those things.
But the problem is that when you are the primary voice, when you are the most watched, when you are the most promoted, that becomes what people think of, not what that really good, sharp anchor does. Not what the reporter does out in the field.
Kevin, tomorrow we got to figure out who we're going to pay. We got to pay a college athlete.
Oh, yeah. There's a new website where you can get shout outs and stuff from Mizzou athletes.
It's not just them.
No, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So we got to pick one tomorrow.
We're going to do that. We're going to get a shout out. We're going to pay for one.
We're going to pay.
We're going to contribute.
We're going to use the NIL.
Yeah, we'll contribute to the NIL of some young athlete tomorrow, and we'll have that recording done at some point and play it. DGS coming up next. We'll see you guys at the ballpark tonight.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com. We've been buying a lot of houses lately with foundation and water damage. So if you have a house that has